Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So what that war about? I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
All right, we live. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, and the only begotten beloved Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
We right back at it with another War Ready Wednesday, number 4. Interesting topic tonight. Interesting topic, though. As your brother, I got to tell you, it is not a salvational topic. You understand? Keeping the commandments and following our King. But nonetheless, this is a topic that's very controversial within the nation of Israel, man. Very controversial. And the whole debate is, what is Earth? Is Earth a plane or a planet? Is it a sphere or is it flat? You understand? So, we got two respected brothers within the Israelite walk, this way of life. I'm gonna let these brothers introduce themselves. My brother from Chicago, Arsorel. Go ahead, brother, introduce yourself.
Shalom, 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 nation. All praise to the Most High. Arsorel, Shimshon, Israel. My Gentile or slave name is Terrence Geis from Chicago. Been in the truth for a little bit over 4 years. Came into the Hebrew truth about 4 years. Been in the flat earth truth about the same amount of time. It kind of happened at the same time. So looking forward to chopping it up with everybody tonight. Want to thank you for this platform, and look forward to it. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. All praise, glory, and honor. All right, next up, we got our Ak Yeshaya from the East Coast. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
Shalom. Not much to say. My name is Yeshaya, tribe of Manasseh. Been in this knowledge about 18 years. That's about it. Just want to say double honors to the apostles and elders of the house of David. And, Lord willing, we'll have a debate where we can edify our people.
All praise the glory and honor to the Most High. That's right. That's right. All praise the glory and honor. All right. So how this work, brothers, is this. We give both of you all an opening 5-minute round. You basically just use that time to let the nation know what it is that you are here to prove or disprove. All right. Both of y'all get an opening 5-minute round. And then from there, we do a 20-minute round, presentation round apiece. And then right behind that first 20-minute round apiece, we have what's called a rapid fire round apiece, where you both ask each other questions based off the information that was brought out in the previous round. And then we go off to another 20-minute round. All right. You brothers going to roughly have an hour and a half apiece. 95 minutes to bring forth the information. Then after that, we open up the comment board for questions and answers from the crowd. All right. You brothers understand?
Good.
Yep.
All right. And then trip off this, the rapid fire round is not 20 minutes. It's more like 10 minutes apiece. You understand? And that's just something we found out as we've been doing this thing, that the actual cross-examination round will really take as long. So, but if you need any extra minutes or any time, whatever, so far we got both of y'all slotted for 95 minutes apiece. All right. So that's an hour. That's a little bit over an hour and a half apiece to get it done. All right. So how y'all want to do this? Whoever want to go first can go first. This is an opening 5-minute round. You got the clock together.
5 minutes.
This is an opening 5-minute round, and all you're doing is letting people know who you are, and of course what it is you're here to prove or disprove. We'll get into the scriptures and whatever information you got in your presentation round. All right. Which one of y'all go first?
I'll defer to my brother over there. Let him get the thing started out. So I'll mute my mic and let him do his opening presentation.
You got to mute. No doubt. Come on, let's get it.
Wait, so the opening presentation is what, like, the introduction is out the way, right?
Yeah, but basically you basically letting them know what it is you're here to prove or disprove. Like, I'm here to prove the earth is this shape, whatever. How you ever gonna now.
Yeah, you just give it a presentation about what you're gonna bring out.
Yeah, what you gonna bring out.
You're not gonna go into your stuff yet.
Got it.
Read a war, there was a warning shot. So what that war about? I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
All right, so you know, basically, I believe that the earth is round. I don't subscribe to the sun being in the center of the earth and all that other stuff. I don't plan on using any so-called pictures that was taken from outer space, because I don't, you know, of course you can't trust that. You know, Esau lies about a lot of things, and that's honestly why I think the whole flat earth situation came about, is because Esau, or, you know, the so-called white man, lies so much about everything that, you know, we don't know what to believe, you know, in a lot of ways. But, you know, just like in certain mathematical formulas and things, the so-called white man has said things that was correct. So although he's a liar, you also got to factor in, even a liar, for him to tell a good lie, he's got to tell some truth, you know, and that's what we're going to go into, Lord willing. That's it. I don't need a whole 5 minutes.
Hallelujah. Okay, awesome, real. Come on with it. Come on with it, bro. Basically let the nation know what it is that you're here to prove or disprove. Starting your 5 minutes right now.
All right. Well, I'm here to prove just the opposite. I'm actually here to prove what the Bible says. And the Bible is a flat circle with 4 corners. So it has a foundation. There's a dome over the earth called firmament. Earth is the center of the universe, shall we say. The sun and the moon are not planets. The sun and moon are lights. We've never gone to the moon. We cannot go to the moon. As the brother just got finished saying a little while ago, there's a great deal of deception that's been going on when it comes down to the construct of the earth. And fact is that as a consequence of a constant barrage of brainwashing, the truth about the earth being flat is something that's now scoffed upon. And so it's actually, I appreciate a brothers from Hebrew Nation Building brought up this statement saying, when a lie is all that is known, the truth is inconceivable. And that is really what the situation is that from the moment that we have been children, we have been taught 1 + 1 is 2, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that we live on a spinning ball. And we never question it for a moment, except when someone presents some information that seems counter to it, then you just start looking at what we presented. You start asking your questions based upon the construct of us living on a ball. And once you really start analyzing it, all the mathematics, all of the scenarios that are presented to us about us living on a ball that is spinning 1,000 miles an hour going eastbound is absolutely impossible. And I'm going to be willing to use scripture to prove this. I also have a number of visual representations over here that hopefully shall help you get some understanding today. So that's all I got to say. Ready to go. Whoa.
No doubt.
Those are things over here.
Okay, no doubt. It's all good. Okay, so both of y'all just had an opening 5-minute round. My Akishaya, right? And then my Osiril. That both had y'all opening 5-minute round. All right. So next we're gonna go ahead and get into the presentation round. My Akishaya, you got 20 minutes, Prince, to go ahead and bring forth what it is. We start time. Let you know we start time right now. And let's get it, man. Let's put this information on out here, man. You know what I'm saying? When you get in the cage, it's gloves off. So even though we respect each other, we ain't ashamed to swing swords, baby. It's what we do.
Let's go.
You feel me? We lions. We you know, we Israelites, and this is what we do. We're very passionate about what we believe, man, because a belief is what is called a stronghold in the scriptures. So a belief is very powerful, especially when it takes root. in your mind.
Right.
All right. So, all right, Ak, go ahead. Go ahead. Watch your 20 minutes, Ak. We starting it right now. Go ahead, Prince. Bring it out.
All right, cool.
You read a war that was a warning shot. So what that war about? I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
So you know, the brother said that that according to the Bible, the earth is a flat surface, which you know, of course, we disagree on that respectfully. You know, I personally recently have had to deal with a situation with a brother believing that, and I had to tell him we can't push together because can two walk together unless they be agreed? You know, that don't mean we can't fellowship and be brothers, but at the same time, you know, there's a difference in doctrine. We can't teach together if we have a difference in doctrine. Now, I know that there's a lot of scriptures in the Bible that are used because I've looked into the topic myself about, you know, saying that the earth is flat, using the four corners and all that. You know, you also have scriptures that say blatantly that the earth is round. You know, I know the brother, I know everybody knows at least one of them is Isaiah 40:22. So I'm gonna start with that. Okay. Give me 1 second to get the scripture. You know, I use an app. This is just for edification for everybody. On my phone, it's called My Sword. You could actually click on right next to each word, and it'll tell you what it is in the Hebrew. So, without further ado, in Isaiah 40:22, it says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in." I mean, I read the whole scripture, but you know, the main point to bring out where it says circle, and when you click on, you know, next to it to find out what the Hebrew word is there for circle, it says chayag. I don't know what if everybody, you know, reads the Hebrew the same way. Some brothers might read the modern Hebrew, you know, with the you know, different pronunciations. The Hebrew that I use, the Lakshawan Kodash, the word there is chayag. When you go into the Hebrew, it says circle, circuit, compass. And that word, the root word of that is another word, chayag, which means to encircle, to encompass, describe a circle, draw round, make a circle. You know what I mean? So if you go deep into the word chayag, it tells you that, you know, it means round. Now, I know also that brothers are saying, and like the brother just said, that the earth is a circle, and that circle is what was it? Like the earth is a circle, but it's on a flat surface. That wouldn't make sense with respect to the scriptures. You know, it says that the earth is a circle, and going into another scripture real quick to back up the earth being round. 2nd Esdras 11 verse 40. It says, "And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression." So it says the whole compass. A compass is round. Now, again, you know, that doesn't go into the point of the earth being a round disc or something like that. But then you also gotta apply some sense to it. You know what I'm saying? When just to give one a easy example, when if you were to you know, because I'm on the East Coast and I'm next to the ocean. If you ever see a ship sail like away from you, and you know, you could even look at it with a binocular, at some point that ship is going to look like it's disappearing from the bottom up, as opposed to shrinking. If the earth was a flat surface, you would see it shrink. You wouldn't see it start to disappear from the bottom up. The reason why it looks like it's disappearing from the bottom up is because it's going over the horizon, because there's a curvature there. All right. So Besides that, trying to think of anything else. That's it.
How much more time the brother got? You got a whole bunch of time left.
Got 15 minutes, but I don't, I'm done with that part of the presentation.
Okay.
So you want to hold your 15 minutes? You put it in the bag.
Yeah.
All right, brother. All right, that's what it is. All right, Asarel.
All right. So if I could just, I know this is my time to present my information. Am I presenting my information, or am I allowed to ask him any amount of question at all? I just want to find out one thing. I just want to find out just one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
And the question is because he says that he doesn't believe.
You're gonna ask him a question.
All right, then forget it. I'll just go with my presentation. All right.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So what that war about? I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they convert the Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
So I'm going to address a couple things that the brother just said because he used Isaiah 40:22, and Isaiah 40:22. It is he that sits in the circle of the earth. We know that as being the scripture. All right. So what we have to do is we have to go to Isaiah 22:18, because the prophet Isaiah also knew the difference between a circle and a ball. So let's go to Isaiah 22:18. He was surely violently turned and tossed thee like a ball into a large country. There shalt thou die. And so there is a difference between a circle and a ball. So if we go right now, I'm going to go and try to do a little screen share. See if I figured this out. But even if you were to look up the definition of circle, I'm going to try to screen share this too real quick first. But I'm sure everybody knows. You can do the simple Google thing. We're going to see if we can get it right. Screen share. Application window. I don't know if it's working. All right, so I'm just going to read you the definition. Circle, a round plane figure whose boundary, the circumference, consists of points equidistant from a fixed point in the center. So it says a round plane. Plane is flat. All right, so that's the definition of circle. The definition of ball, a sphere or ball is a perfectly round geometrical object in three-dimensional space. That is, the surface that is completely round or ball, analogous with the circle objects in two dimensions, where a circle circumscribes its disk. So it makes a difference. A circle is a disk, a round disk. This is a circle. This plate is a circle. It is not a ball. Although a ball is round, one is three-dimensional, circle is flat. And so, once again, I understand that the earth is a flat circle. And for the following reasons, the brother just got finished a little while ago making a couple of statements with regards to the shape of the earth. And it's very easy to break down the inconceivable and illogical scenario of us living on a ball earth. All right, so I don't know how well, if anyone can see this scenario, but if by chance we lived on a globe or a ball, these scenarios would absolutely have to exist. It is absolutely impossible that if we live in a ball, that this scenario or this situation couldn't have to exist. So if a person here, we're here in North America, if we were in North America and we decided that we were going to leave Chicago and go to Chile, South America down here, that the plane would have to leave up here, and eventually the nose of the plane would have to follow the shape of the earth and eventually the pilot and everyone would be going headfirst into the cabin, and that would be worse than 9/11 because everybody would be in the cabin of the airplane. So if a pilot didn't continuously keep pointing his nose of the plane down, he would eventually, if he stayed straight, would fly off into space as a consequence of him not following the shape of the earth. More importantly, all right, we see the image of a ball on a regular basis. We know the image of the globe that they say that we live on. So I can screen share an image of it, but we know that somewhere in the equator, the earth is 70% water. So how does water stick to the side and the bottom of a ball? Are people on the equator standing like this? Are people on the southern hemisphere in Chile and Argentina standing like this? This would have to happen. I don't care what size ball that you have, scale doesn't matter. As long as it's round, no matter what size, it's always going to have this scenario. So the thing that most people commonly say is that gravity is the cause of this phenomenon. Gravity is the thing that causes water to curve, water to stick to the bottom and the sides of a spinning ball. Well, the fact is, and for demonstration's sake, we know the surface of water is always flat. I don't know if you can see that, but this is vodka. But for the purpose of this, I had to grab something real quick. But the surface will always turn flat. The only time water will ever bend is once it is inside of something. So this is a small little round bowl. We could see that the water takes the shape or the form of this bowl. But of course, we know that if this thing was square, the water would still be filling up the whole container. But as you can see, the surface of this is flat. So let's go back to some scriptures though, because I want to establish everything by way of scripture. So give me 1 more second. So when we start out in Genesis chapter 1, it says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the earth, and he said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water. And by the way, I'm skipping through some verses. So I'm doing Genesis 1, 2, Genesis 6 through 9, and then 14 through 18, just so you can understand if you see it, noticing that I'm skipping around. All right, so it says, and the Most High made a firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above it. And it was so. And the Most High called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. The Most High said, let there be waters under the heaven, be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. The Most High said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. The Most High made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and he made the stars also. The Most High set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and divided them from the darkness. And the Most High said and saw it, and it was good. So the thing is that even in the scriptures, based upon the images that we are constantly fed, and although this brother said that he is not going to necessarily, his argument is not necessarily defending the globe model that we are always seeing, he's still basically saying that we live in a ball. And so therefore, based upon these scriptures that we're reading, nowhere in the globe model do we see any representation of the firmament. All right, so that right there is a strike against the globe model in itself. So we have to go to the scriptures that talk about the firmament. So we go to Job 37:18. How hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong as a molten looking glass? So the firmament is on the flat earth model. I'm going to see if I can screen share this real quick. 1 second. Please bear with me. Rolling. But I'm going to show you a couple of old represent. This is the. Please bear with me. I'm going to show you. All right. So the scriptures, and this is an old. This is actually in most Bibles. This representation that you're seeing there, and I don't know how large this is showing up. But as we read in Genesis, there are waters above the earth. Reason why the sky is blue.
Not to cut you off, but all we seeing is your actual folder.
So click on what you're trying to show.
Yeah.
You see it now?
It's probably it's pulling up.
It's probably down. It's probably go down toward the toolbar at the bottom of your computer and see if it's something pulled right there.
I'm seeing it myself, but I don't know why it's not showing you all. Let me see here. I'll try it again. Let me just try to close that out. Ooh, am I still there?
Yeah, we see.
Wow.
1 second. Application window. Please bear with me. If I can't find it, then what I will do is I will.
You can email it right quick.
Yeah, I can email these things to you. In fact,
and I'll share it out.
All right, just give me 1 second, because I got other ways of being able to show this representation. Wait, hold on for a second. Appreciate y'all patience.
Hey, that last scripture you pulled was Job. What was that? Job what? 30 and.
It's Job. It's Job's 37:18. Job 37:18. Hold on for a second. Give me 1 second, Melly. I'm gonna email you these images real quick. So just give me 1 second. I'm gonna sit like that.
We pause the time. You got 7 minutes.
We pause the time on you. Go ahead.
All right, just real quick.
Email up. We can definitely get them images shown.
Email. Bear with me. While I'm doing this, we're going to go to Ezekiel 122. Ezekiel 122. Because we're going to talk about, again, there's a firmament or dome over the earth, which has made it impossible for us to get into so-called space. This whole lie in terms of there being a Van Allen radiation belt is, as the brother just got finished saying, lies from Esau. So they always, just as the scriptures try to say, that they name their lands behind their own names or whatever. I can't remember the scripture verbatim. But even in this particular situation, the white man has created some kind of impenetrable barrier around the earth and put his name on it, when in fact, the impenetrable barrier is the firmament, which the Most High created. It had nothing to do with Van Allen. There's no kind of radiation belt because there's no place to go. And the world elite and these people know it. And I'm going to show you with these images that the Freemason logos and everything like that show you the flat earth. It shows you the dome or the firmament over the earth. It shows you everything contained within a closed environment. So hold on 1 second. It's coming right now. All right, so I just hit send, Melly. All right, so Probably take you a second for you to get those things. All right. Ezekiel 1:23, and under the firmament were their wings straight, and one toward the other, one every one had which covered on each side, and one had two which covered the other side. And these are just talking about the firmament. And there was a voice from under the firmament that was over their heads. Ezekiel 1:26, and above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, in appearance of sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of the appearance of the Son of Man upon it. Ezekiel 10:1. Then I looked, and behold, in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims, there appeared over them as it were a sapphire stone, as the appearance and the likeness of a throne. Daniel 12:3. Somebody can you hear me? Did I lose my audio? Hold up. Lose audio.
Yeah, I can hear you, Ak. You good?
Okay, I got a text message saying I can't hear. All right. Daniel 12:3. And there were, Daniel 12:3. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars, forever and ever. He can't hear me. Maybe he's got his mic muted or something. I don't know. Y'all can hear me, right? Can the rest of the audience?
Yeah, you good. He can hear you too.
You say he can hear you.
I got another text message from somebody saying he can't hear me.
Everybody on the chat saying you're fine. They can hear you perfectly fine.
All right, cool. All right, there's one more scripture in. Give me one more second. I got another scripture in the Apocrypha. Speaks about the firmament, and again, it speaks. Not only does it speak about the Apocrypha. Now I hear. That is in. Give me one second. Sirach. I'm sorry. Second Esdras 6. Please forgive me. Give me one second. I lost my scriptures. That's it. I'm gonna come back to it. I got it somewhere else. So give me a second. I'm gonna have to come back to it. And I'm hearing all these pings in my ears. So that's what's getting distracting me. How many more minutes I got?
You got approximately 3 minutes, brother.
All right, great. All right, so
I got your email too, Ak. So
okay, cool. All right, so if you go in the email, we're talking about the firmament first. So do me a favor and open up the image that says Hebrew cosmology or cosmos. Okay. You see that?
Hold on, let me find it real quick. Let me share screen first. I'm gonna share the screen. Main application window. Just click on that. All right, we got the sharing going. Go to your folder. All right. Now Hebrew, you say Hebrew cosmology. I got 11. I got 11 attachments from you.
Yep.
This is about Hope default.
You can see it too, bro.
Can you see what I got? Can you see what's on the screen?
I see. Hold up for a second. Yeah. So go to the one that shows Sheol.
Sheol. Okay, right there. Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's the Hebrew cosmology or whatever it is.
Okay. Can you see that?
All right. Yep. So as you can see, as in Genesis, as it says in Genesis, we go back to that scripture. It says, in the spirit of the so it says, and let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So the firmament divides the waters from the waters. All right. And the Most High called the firmament heaven. We also are going to eventually go back to scriptures where Nimrod, of course, tried to make a tower to go unto the heavens. And so we know that the Most High didn't allow Nimrod to go into heaven. So we also know that NASA cannot do anything because Malachi 3:6 says, I am the Most High, I change not, you ye sons of Jacob. will not be consumed. So these crackers ain't going anywhere. And of course, we see the flat surface of the earth, the sun and moon around it. If you go to, okay, you can get rid of that one, Mally. Go to the other one that shows to the far right. Keep going one more. Right there, yep, that one. These are the depictions of the earth through different civilizations. The Egyptian, the Morse, the Hindu, the Mayan. All these are old civilizations and their portrayals or depictions of the earth, except for when NASA came up with this false image of a ball earth. And so all of these other civilizations knew that the earth had, as you can see, a dome over it, that it was flat, that the stars and the sun and moon were within this enclosed surface. It's only NASA, they do everything about the heliocentric model, the image, the understanding that we have is all 100% opposite. So whatever NASA gives you, just go the total opposite. We don't live in a ball. It's not spinning, and et cetera, et cetera. I think my time is up, so I'll defer to the brother.
All right. Well, that was your presentation round, Osrael. Akishaya, you got what's called a rapid fire round. You can question him on whatever he just brought out. This round is 10 minutes, but if you brothers need any extra, you know what I'm saying, time or extension, we can get y'all that too. All right, you're gonna have to unmute your mic. Let me see. You unmuted yourself, or maybe I can do it from right here. You got the option to unmute it over there. Okay, there it is. Yep.
I'm unmuted?
Yeah, you unmuted, priest. So look, this is your 10-minute round to go ahead and ask him anything that he just brought out in the previous round. Ask him questions, challenge his doctrine, what it is that he just brought out. All right, brother. Starting your 10 minutes. I know the option to go ahead and grab.
All right, so you know, just to start off with, as far as the argument about a ball in a circle.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So with that war by, I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word war, they convert the Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
You know, it sound cool and all. At the end of the day, they both round. You know, it's common sense, man. But you know, like I said, you know, you could go into the semantics, because that's all it is semantics. And I'm not saying you purposely is trying to mislead people. I'm just saying the arguments you're making, you're using a lot of semantics with, you know, your initial statement. But that's not your fault. That's the way it's been presented to you. Yeah, I see that. But anyway, you know, just give another example. You know, if I was to dig up a whole bunch of dirt and make a big round mountain, not literally a real mountain, but let's say a 10-foot high mountain of dirt, and you know, in this round, and I put a whole bunch of ants on it. Those ants are gonna think that whole thing is flat to them, from their size. You know, it's like humans. Like you comparing the whole earth to simple things that you have in front of you. You can't really do that. This is a whole earth you talking, and you pulling out a bottle and trying to say that that's the way it is. You know what I mean? You do understand gravity, so you gotta understand that better than that. But anyway, another thing is airplanes. Is it possible for an airplane to go from Cali to China? Is it, like, would they go directly to China, or do they have to go around the rest of the United States, Europe, and all that to get to China? All right, because you also have to factor in if the Earth is a flat surface. First off, the Earth can't possibly be flat just based on the fact that we have mountains and hills and canyons and all that. There's holes in the Earth. You could, you know what I mean, fall hundreds of feet. So the Earth can't possibly be flat literally based on that. You know, there has to be grooves and edges and things like that. Also, if you're going to say the Earth is flat, then you saying that the earth has an end where you could fall off. Then, you know, that it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Other celestial bodies, you know, just to give an example, right behind me, I got a sticker on my wall that's a representation of the moon, which you don't even, you know what I'm saying? You could look in the sky and see it. You could take a telescope and look in the you know, outer space, whatever, and you could see that all the planets and everything out there is round. So why would we be the only ones that's flat? You look at the sun, you look at the moon, and they round. You take a telescope, you look at so-called Mars and all these other planets that you can see with a telescope for yourself. You don't have to take the so-called white man's interpretation, because I agree with you 100%. The white man's a damn liar. But you also can't use, you can't sit here and tell me that the Most High created all these heavenly bodies round and the earth is just the one that's flat with a round dome. Like, that honestly, no disrespect to you personally, that sound bugged out. Another thing that I kind of want to know is, if the earth flat, how is the whole earth not getting hit by the sun at the same time? Like right now, on the opposite side of the earth is daytime. Where I'm at right now is 9:50 p.m. The opposite side of the earth is daytime. Right now is dark outside. How would that be possible on a flat earth? It just wouldn't make no sense. But you know, that's it. That's all I needed. 5 minutes.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So with that war by, I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
Okay. So I got a real quick question for the brother, because I want to just make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. And let's just make sure we are, first of all, dealing with the proper nomenclature. All right. So there is a difference between, are you in agreement with me that people don't play basketball?
Let us start your time. He was actually supposed to be that. If he was asking questions, you was supposed to be answering them.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So to answer your questions, so your main questions were in terms of the earth. One of the main questions you asked was about the edges of the earth. All right. Right. That was one of your questions. Am I understanding you correctly, brother?
Yeah.
All right. So the earth, what they call Antarctica. All right. They call Antarctica the Arctic Circle, and they call Antarctica the Arctic Circle for a reason. Right. So what we know of Antarctica is actually walls of ice that are hundreds of feet tall. All right, I'm going to send you right now. I'm going to try to figure out how to do the screen share one more time. So the United Nations logo, I'm going to show you the literal definition that the United Nations logo, the United Nations call their logo. So first, give me 1 second. I wish I could figure out the screen sharing again. Give me 1 second.
Did you say?
Hello. I'm sending this to you right now. Well, first I'm going to try to screen share it again. Give me 1 second. I want to read this real quick. All right, so the United Nations emblem, the design is a map of the world representing the azimuthal equidistant projection centered on the North Pole, inscribed with a reef consisting of cross-conventionalized branches of an olive tree. All right, so I'm going to send you Malachi real quick. Let's do this. And I just check your email real quick. I just sent that to you. I said, please be ready to broadcast that. I don't want you to send that yet, but to do the Google search in terms of the United Nations logo. And again, I'm going to try to figure out how to do my own screen share. So give me 1 second, because I don't want to be encumbered by, I got all kinds of stuff I want to be able to just share on my own. All right, so hold on for 1 second. So you go app window, and I can't figure this out. Why can I see everything except applications window? Can you see that? No. Hearing all kinds of pain. Antarctica is not available on the same server.
Yeah, look, I see what you just sent me, right? So, all right, okay. I got right here. Please be ready to broadcast.
Okay, so first, so the brother first said he was talking about the that we live in a ball. All right, so this is actually, as the brother just got finished saying a little while ago, that there are, of course, mountains and valleys. All right, so we know that there are mountains and valleys. The earth is, as I was saying before, flat. So I'm going to concede that there are mountains and valleys, absolutely. But even in the globe model, if we were to think about the fact that the earth is a ball, all right, even under the theory that the earth is a globe, we know that the ocean, the earth is 70% water. All right, so I just got finished sending you the thing saying, please be ready to project this, and you can project that image right now for me, Malachi. So that's showing. Okay, so that's the United Nations logo. All right, so as you can see there, and did you see, go to where it says web and get the definition. Scroll down and see what it says, because it's going to give the definition too. So go to, okay, stop. You just do a Google search. Let's see. I wish I could figure out how to do this on my own.
Google search what?
So just Google search United Nations logo, and the definition is going to say it's a map. All right, so a map is something that's used for navigational purposes. All right, and so that in itself lets you know that the United Nations logo is an actual true representation. Whenever they show you the scroll down, it's going to scroll down. It's going to give you the definition.
UN logo and United Nations.
I don't know why I'm getting different.
I'm with definition.
Yeah, just United Nations logo. It says the emblem of the United Nations is a map representing the azimuthal equidistant projection centered on the North Pole, right? And this same image that you're seeing there, so what you're seeing there on that image, the white wreath, is what is represented Antarctica, right? So if you were standing above that circle, if I were holding up this plate, rather than, imagine you're looking down upon it like this versus looking at a globe like this, but you're looking down upon a flat circle, all right? And that is that white wreath is representative of this ridge here, all right? The Antarctica is walls of ice that are hundreds of feet tall that hold in the waters of the earth. The reason why all the waters are contained on the earth still and the surface of water is flat is because it's being held in by Antarctica. Of course, if the earth were a ball,
that's the time for now it's your turn to ask him questions, Oscarell. Now you're supposed to ask him questions and rapid fire him. He would ask you a few questions you attempted to answer.
All right,
now it's you.
So my question is for you when it comes down to your projection of the earth, because you mentioned gravity. Is gravity the answer of how water sticks to a ball?
Well, actually, you brought up gravity, brother.
You brought up gravity. You were the one who actually brought up gravity.
No, you actually brought it up first. Rewind the tape.
I made up gravity to scoff at it, but you, in your rebuttal to me, you said that, well, we know gravity this or that, and as if gravity was the response or the remedy for certain things. So, for example, what is your understanding of gravity? Is gravity, first of all, is gravity a theory, or is gravity something that is observable and provable and measurable?
I'm not sure about measurable. I don't believe it's a theory either.
Okay, so then explain how gravity works. How does gravity work under the globe model, the ball model, the earth round ball model? How does gravity work?
I don't see how the two are. I don't see how you can use gravity to prove or disprove it. Right, I think
so if we live on a ball, if we live on a round ball under your theory, how does water stick to the equator? How does water stick to the side and the bottom of a ball? How does water curve? Because the surface of water is always flat. You can see right now the surface of this water that I'm holding up. I don't know if you can see this, but it's flat. Water, they call it sea level. They don't call it sea curve, right? Water always seeks its own level. So if water always seeks its own level, the water cannot bend. How does water curve around the equator and the bottom and the side of a ball?
Well, I can't give you a scientific explanation of that, brother, but how does that disprove that the earth is round when the scriptures say that the earth is round?
Because again, I'm sorry. So a circle and a, so again, so my question is, let's deal with that. So do they play basketball? Did Michael Jordan dunk this? Or does Michael Jordan dunk a ball?
He dunks a ball.
Okay, great. So there's a difference. So you understand there's a difference. You would not watch Michael Jordan or any athlete bounce this. This wouldn't bounce, would it?
No.
And this would not roll except for only a short time if I did it like that. It will roll like that, but it's not going to roll in terms of a three-dimensional thing. It will roll on this edge, correct?
Yeah.
So you're conceding that although this is round, that these shapes, although
and a ball is also round. A ball is also round, is it not?
So Isaiah made a distinction in the scriptures between a ball and a circle, didn't he? Would you like us to go over those again?
No, I read it along with you.
Let's just for edification purposes, so we can make sure that we can get a proper understanding. Let's go to these scriptures because you made you basically were acting like I was engaging in a form of semantics, well, with all due respect, when we brought forth the scriptures about the difference between a circle and a ball. And a circle and a ball, this is a key thing because under your model of you believing that the earth is a ball, under your model, that means water sticks to the sides and the bottom of a ball. Under your model, if this is the earth, water is sticking here, water is sticking here. People are standing like this on the equator. People are standing like this in China. If this is what you say we live on, this would have to happen. If under your scenario, people, when they're landing on the equator, an airplane is like this. Under your scenario, this would have to happen on a ball because you say that we live on a ball. An airplane would have to constantly be following the contour of this surface if we lived on a ball. And this is your argument. So I want you to explain to me, is gravity the thing that is causing people not to be hanging upside down when they're on this thing? Is gravity the magic force that is causing water to stick to the bottom of a ball? That's a question.
I can't say it's gravity, but
okay. So you have no answer.
It's weird, but okay. So again, how come we all don't have sun right now? How come the sun's up there, but it's dark where I'm at?
I can explain that. So
perfect.
Okay, great. So the sun and the moon are independent objects. So again, the sun and the moon orbit around the earth. As I mentioned before, the sun and the moon the scripture calls them lights. Right? So the sun and the moon, imagine this is the earth, all right? This is the sun and the moon rotate and orbit around the earth. I should get a flashlight. Give me a second. I did have a flashlight, or maybe even for the sake of this demonstration, we will get you a flashlight so you can see. All right, so if this light is not, I can have this, the sun is local and it's small. They say that the sun is 93 million miles away. That's what they tell you. The sun is 93 million miles away. Now I want you to think about that. The sun is 93 million miles away and it's sending heat from 93 million miles away, that means that we'd still be cooking from the sun from when it was out earlier. I mean, how big is the sun if we're feeling heat from something 93 million miles away? Million miles away. It's impossible, right? So the sun is small and local. Also, here's another thing about the sun, right? The sun, they say, or they say that in space, there's no oxygen in space. But NASA is constantly showing us images of fire, a ball of fire, all right? Fire needs oxygen for combustion, all right? And so it's absolutely impossible, even based upon what NASA says, that this model that they're feeding us, because fire needs oxygen. And so the sun is not a ball of fire that is burning. The sun is what the Bible calls it, a light. The moon is a light. The moon is its own independent light source, and both the sun and the moon orbit around the flat earth like this, all right? And I have other demonstrations. I'll be bringing forth a couple of other demonstrations which will be able to show you the actual movement of the sun and the earth around, sun and moon around the earth. But I still am waiting for your response, brother. So let me ask you this. Under this ball model that you believe in, are you saying that the earth is spinning as well? Because the ball model says the earth is spinning. Is the earth spinning?
I don't believe the earth is spinning.
So the earth is not spinning. So now that the earth is not spinning, so Malachi, can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor, Malachi? Can you, since it'd be easier for you to just look it up, look up Sherwin-Williams logo and screen share that for me, please. Sherwin-Williams logo. Sherwin-Williams logo. So the earth is not spinning. And just real quick, if you all can see, give me 1 second. I really wish I had figured out how to screen share this stuff, man. I like being able to work the technology on my own. So anyway.
So you don't believe the sun's hot?
What's that?
You don't believe the sun hot?
Of course I believe the sun is hot. What I'm telling you is that the sun is not 93 million miles away. So we can deal with the sun and stuff like that in another second, because the sun is.
What's the proof of that?
What's my proof of what?
The sun is not. I mean, I don't know about the 93 million miles, but what's the proof that the sun is small and is local?
Oh, I'll be able to present that. I got videos, so it won't be having audio. Okay, so there's the Sherwin-Williams logo. All right, so you just got finished saying that the earth is not spinning, and that's fine. I'm fine even conceding that the earth is not spinning. Sherwin-Williams is putting the truth in your face, that there's no way that water can stick to the side and the bottom of a ball. All right, and in this particular scenario, if the earth, they say the earth is actually spinning in terms of the heliocentric model, 1,000 miles an hour going eastbound. That's faster than the speed of sound. All right, so the fact is that under the normal heliocentric model, although you're not arguing this, I'm for the edification of everybody who might believe in the heliocentric model. We're going to go over a couple of scenarios that everyone can figure out. All right, because they say, NASA says the earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour going eastbound at the equator. That's faster than the speed of sound. Simple things to disprove this theory. We've all gotten on a merry-go-round as a child. You get on a merry-go-round. The merry-go-round starts going fast. It starts going too fast, you fly off. We've all, as kids and adults, gone to the amusement park. We get in the drum cylinder thing, the guy closes the door, the cylinder starts spinning, we stick to the wall, and the floor drops out the bottom. We've all done laundry. We put our laundry in the washing machine. The washing machine fills up with water. Eventually, the washing machine goes on the spin cycle. What happens while the washing machine is in the spin cycle? Centripetal force causes the water to fly. So it's impossible for us to live on a spinning ball.
Flash your lights. Okay. So both of y'all did your rapid fire round. All right. Akushadi, you got another 20-minute presentation. Go ahead and bring out the scripts, brother. And start in 20 minutes. My heart gonna start it right now.
Bring it out. Bring whatever you gotta bring out, brother.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So with that war by, I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
I mean, I honestly, I'm not going to need 20 minutes. I kind of just think that we could go back and forth on the subject all day. I mean, it really boils down to what you believe, because, you know, you could use the gravity argument. At the end of the day, scriptures say the earth is round. And when you go deep into the word, it's chayag. You go into the Hebrew on it, which we already did. It's talking about encompass. When you encompass something, you're surrounding it. Like, you know, like I said, he's gonna have his arguments about the earth being flat, but literally the earth can't be flat. As he said, there's as we agreed upon, there's hills, there's mountains, there's canyons. A round dome over it means it's round. You know, it's still a round earth, one way or the other. Either whichever model you want to use, you want to put a flat dish and put a dome over it, or whether it's an actual ball, you still, to one degree or another, are saying that the earth is round. You know, so you could use diagrams and all that you want, you know, but like I said, we believe according to the scriptures that the earth is a round ball, a circle. You know, you believe it's a disc with a round dome over it. It is what it is. You know, it's I don't know. It's just kind of, I haven't heard anything here that proves that the earth is flat, and we got scriptures that prove the earth is round. And you look up in the sky and you see round bodies in the skies. Why is the earth the only thing flat in the whole universe? That to me is insane. I don't even know like how this argument really got to be taken serious by people. But you know, it just is what it is. You know, one thing I want to point out is, you know, we all know that nobody's face is flat, right? Anybody?
Yeah.
Your face is not flat, right? Nobody has a flat ass face, right?
Your head is not flat, brother.
Except for Maharakah. Maharakah is the only human being on the planet Earth who face flat, but everybody else face is round. So the thing about the four corners of the earth, you know, just to use four corners, go to Leviticus 19 and 27. It says, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads." Right? That's implying that your head is flat, right?
No.
Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Is your beard flat? It just wouldn't make sense. So again, you know, you're dealing with the four corners and north, south, east, west. Like, you know, it kind of it just doesn't make sense that the earth is flat, man.
I understand. So it's sometimes things that, and with all due respect,
Hold on, he's doing his presentation.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know you ready to rock. Go.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, so I'm gonna help you understand to answer your question.
Time.
Stop the time. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Get your time, Austin. Real.
Turn it up.
Starting your 20 minutes right now. Go ahead, Doc.
All right, so to answer your question, you made a statement in terms of the sun and the moon. All right, so what we do know is the following. All right, because it's very obvious that when you look at the moon, you can see that it does have some degree of curvature to it. All right, so do you know the difference between convex and concave?
No, I'm not gonna lie and say I do.
Okay, so we're going to give you the definition of convex. All right, so convex. In fact, I'm going to send Malachi. Well, let's see convex definition first. maybe, brother, if you want, I don't know if you have the ability to look it up as we're going on, so you can get. So maybe since I'm not able to screenshot. All right. So
you want me to look up convex and concave?
Yeah. So look up convex circle.
Convex circle. Okay. Got you, bro. Go ahead and keep talking so you don't waste your time.
So convex is having an outline or a surface curved like the exterior of a circle or a sphere. So if I took this, if this were a solid ball, not a balloon, but a ball, and I cut this in half and put this on the wall, that would still be convex, but it wouldn't necessarily mean that it's a ball, all right? And so that's what you're seeing on the moon, because we've never seen the dark side of the moon. But we do know that we do see this 3D sphere type shape. We see that the outer part, this part of the moon that we see is closer. You can actually see the dimensions of it. But we've never seen the dark side of the moon. You've never seen the moon move. So I'm going to concede that, first of all, that we know the moon is round. We also know that it's convex, but there's no proof or evidence that it's a ball. All right, so that's the answer to your question. There's a difference between convex and concave, and it's obvious that the moon is convex. We don't know if it's a ball, so again, if I dissected this and mounted this on the wall, it would still give the illusion of it being round, but it's not a ball. And again, brother, you have to, you shouldn't lower your credibility, for lack of a better term, when we're having these kind of discussions, and because you've agreed and conceded the fact that you wouldn't want to see, we don't watch basketball with people playing with this, all right? Although this is round, it's not a ball. We know that this would not bounce, all right? So there's a difference between a ball and a circle. And so although it's incomprehensible and inconceivable for you to accept that we live on a flat circle, all of any kind of scenario that you can't defend this. You cannot defend. Again, I ask you, if you believe that we live in a ball, then again, the question is for you. Are people on the equator standing like this right now? Yes or no? It's a question.
Are they standing like that?
Yeah. Are people on the equator standing like this right now on the equator?
I mean, to them, they don't see themselves as like that, but yeah.
People are, so they
don't see themselves like that though.
So you're saying logically that this scenario could happen in life, in reality, this scenario could happen. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, it's just like an anthill.
So basically people can walk up to a wall, because this scenario basically says that I should be able to walk up to my wall and just have my feet like Velcro, like Spider-Man, walk up the wall. That's what you're saying. That would have to happen. Because what you're saying is the person will be up here, and eventually they just say, I'm going to walk along, and oh, I'm going to be like here. No, in fact, I want to go to Chile, and they're going to be hanging upside down. So you're saying that people in Australia and Chile are hanging upside down right now?
No, I never said that they're hanging upside down in this big earth. In this big earth. Oh, wow.
That would have to happen on a ball. Isn't that correct?
What would have to happen on a ball?
That people in South America would be standing upside down right now if we lived in a ball.
From here, it would look like they're standing upside down, but they're not.
So wait.
That argument, I don't know. That argument don't make no sense.
Wait. So the thing is that, again, you're arguing that we live on a ball. Mm-hmm. And a ball is a three-dimensional thing. And that means it has a shape. And if we live on a ball eventually, without question, this debate is whether or not the earth is a flat circle or a ball.
Hey,
excuse me.
Question, brother. My bad.
Go ahead.
No, you do have the right of way. So
your argument is that we live on this. This is your argument. So I'm asking you to defend this. And so the question was to you, is that if you're defending this, my question is, once again, are people right now in Chile standing like this?
No. Like I said, from our perspective, Yeah, if you were to somehow be able to see from the outside looking into the world, but that just don't make sense. I guess you could use gravity for that. I guess that's where you use gravity.
Okay, so
but,
if you're I'm still asking my question. So you're saying that gravity is causing people to stand upside down in the southern hemisphere. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So people have a magnetic force. I mean, the Earth is magnetic.
I mean, I don't know.
No, but again, I'm asking because your argument is that you're defending this. So, what magnetic property do human beings have that would cause them to hang upside down?
I didn't say that they're hanging upside down. Like I said,
if
it's a ball, and if there's a force around the Earth that's holding people down or holding things down, it's like if you thought.
So you just said if. So wait. So is there? Because if is a probable statement. So is there?
That's the firmament. Yeah, that's the firmament.
So wait. No, the firmament is not what's causing. The firmament is a dome over the Earth. We can have that discussion in a couple more minutes. But the question is, once again, are people standing upside down? You said that people are standing upside down, and gravity is causing this to happen. Is that what your statement is?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that gravity, based on the round model of the Earth or the circular model, or I guess you want to specify the word ball. It's a good word of the Earth. Something, whatever's around that's keeping things down would have to be round in and of itself.
So, brother, you've gone to amusement park before, haven't you?
What's that, like Six Flags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you gotten on a roller coaster before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten on a roller coaster that spins upside down?
No.
You've never gotten on but you know those things do exist, right?
Yeah.
And people spend money to hang upside down, right? And because it's not a normal occurrence for you to be upside down, so that if people were in South America right now, they would be upside down right now. They would certainly feel that sensation, wouldn't they?
People that are that's if they're upside down where they're at.
Well, they would have to be.
You're holding up a big ass. You're holding up a balloon with big ass men on it. Let's be real. Like, the people are much smaller than that.
Of course. And so even if the people are, again,
even that representation, what are you holding up, Godzilla?
Again, as I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, it doesn't matter. Scale is scale. So no matter what, if I had this is much smaller, this little thing is much smaller, that still would have to exist. No matter what, this shape would have to cause people to be hanging upside down. No matter what size a ball is, it has a shape. And so therefore, the question still remains, if you believe in a ball, that we live in a ball, that means you believe right now people are on the equator standing like this. And that is an absolute impossibility. So once again, the reason why we're having this debate is as this whole thing is that one of the greatest deceptions that is going on the earth is whether or not we live on a ball or on a flat surface. The reason why you are so passionately defending this inconceivable and illogical thing is that from the moment that we have been children, we have been fed this false image of us living on a ball. And so therefore we don't question it because of the fact that there's been an agenda that scientists know and have been using for a long time. Scientists know that as long as they say scientists have agreed that, or NASA has concluded this, that people will accept and believe it without questioning it. And so
that I agree with, yeah.
All right, so what they do to reinforce that is corporate logos and all kinds of images. Whenever you go to the movies, The first thing that you see, Universal Studios shows you a ball spinning. And so therefore you don't question it. Corporate logos always show you a globe. And so therefore you don't question it. Whenever you watch TV, somewhere on the TV screen, they are going to flash a globe to you. And so therefore you don't question it. And when you, because of the fact that you are so ingrained with that image, you argue this whole thing and not seeing that it's an absolute impossibility. And that's why when I even made the opening statement that when a lie is so great that the truth is inconceivable. It's inconceivable for some people now when they're faced with deconstructing the globe model that you live on a flat earth. But the fact is that living on a flat circle makes a lot more sense. You don't have to go through any kind of crazy or strange mathematics to say that the earth is a flat circle. Give me 1 second. I'm going to dump this water back out. Right? The earth is a flat circle. The earth is flat. If we live on a flat circle, these men, if we do live in a flat circle, can stand here anywhere throughout it, right? And we can have water on there, and the surface of the water is going to be flat, just like the surface of the water is on the earth. The fact is that you can go, I don't care, you say you live in New York? The next time you go out,
New Jersey.
New Jersey. You have a lake in New Jersey, right? The ocean's in New Jersey. Look at the ocean. The surface of water is always flat, right? And so,
if it is, how come when I've seen boats myself standing on the shore in Long Branch or Asbury Park or the beach in Atlantic City, the boat, any ship that's sailing away from me looks like it's disappearing from the bottom up. If there's no curvature.
All right, so
how could you explain that?
So your operative phrase is that it looks like. All right, so that is correct. It looks like. All right, so you have to understand that you have to deal with perspective. All right, and the fact is, and give me 1 second, brother, because I'm answering your question.
I was cheering you on. I said beautiful.
All right, so when there's only a certain distance that your eye can see. All right, and as you're looking, as it goes further away, it's convergence, and it's difficult to see with your naked eye. But I can even send Malachi. I don't know if I can screenshot a video, but there are plenty of experiments that people are showing ships going far away in the distance, and all you need to do is to break out a high magnification lens, a pair of binoculars, and you zoom the whole ship, the whole mast, and the whole entire ship comes straight into view. The fact is, even with that question, you know what the purpose of a lighthouse is? The purpose of a lighthouse is for ships. A lighthouse would not work if we lived on a ball, because of the fact that if this is the lighthouse and a ship is all the way down here, the light is going to be going out this way and the ship is over here. The lighthouse only works on a flat surface, and the lighthouse is over here, and the light can be seen for 15, 20 miles, depending on how bright the light is and how tall the lighthouse is. The light can be seen, but light can never bend over a curve. And so a lighthouse is again proof that we live on a flat earth.
Actually, it's kind of to the contrary of what you're saying, because again, you're dealing with perception. Where for you to even see a lighthouse from a ship, you have to be close enough to it to see it, right? Or no?
Brother, so as I just mentioned to you.
Am I wrong, brother?
So whenever you're done interrupting me, I'll gladly answer your question.
I just want a yes or no, brother.
Okay, so depending on how bright the light is, so brother, depending on how bright the light is and how tall the light is, because of course, if you had a flashlight, a small flashlight, and you were shipped 100 miles out, you're going to be able to eventually see it. Maybe if you're, maybe 10 miles away, you might still be able to see a flashlight, but 100 miles away, you would not be able to. But if you had a bright enough light, you can even take a laser. You understand that the reason why they use lasers on ships in lasers as navigational things is because things are flat, right? So the Earth is flat. They use lasers over large bodies of water, and guess what? They're able to see things on the other side because of the fact that there is no curvature of the Earth. The Earth's curvature model says as follows. And again, I got the next part of my presentation. That under the ball scenario, that they say the Earth is 28,000 miles on this diameter, this curvature. That means every mile, there would be 8 inches of curvature, or this thing squared. So 1 mile, 8 inches, 2 miles, 16. Eventually that turns into feet, and then it's several hundred feet. And over the course of a certain amount of miles, that's several hundred feet. So for example, there are people who, I'm living in Chicago. People have taken pictures from Michigan, which is 60 miles away, and they could take a picture of the Chicago skyline in perfect view. That would be absolutely impossible if we lived on a globe, because the skyline would be, the buildings would be tilting away based upon the curvature, and it would be 900 feet below the horizon based upon curvature. So again, when you break down this scenario, it's absolutely impossible, because that's why I was asking you a little while ago with these men and all this other stuff, is that if we live on a ball, everything has to bend around this surface. Water cannot stick to the side of a ball. Water cannot stick to the bottom of a ball. My bad. The heliocentric model says that the Earth is spinning. So if the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour going eastbound, that means we would have no water on the Earth because of centripetal force. All right? You've done laundry before, right? Your laundry machine goes on the what cycle? Spin cycle. What happens to the water? What happens to the water? What happens to the water when you put your washing machine on the spin cycle? It flies off, right? Yeah, it flies off. If you had a wet sponge or wet towel and you did like that, what would happen? The water would hurl off. So if the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour going eastbound, why do we have lakes? Why do we have oceans? Gravity is not the answer for that, because gravity is a theory. And so that's all I got. So you don't believe in gravity, brother? No, I don't believe in gravity, because gravity is a theory. What people call gravity, I'm going to answer your question. Okay. Gravity is as follows. Gravity is density and buoyancy. Whatever is more dense than air will fall. Whatever is less dense than air or oxygen will rise. If gravity is real, I want you to think about it. A hot air balloon kicks gravity's ass all day, every day. So how, if gravity is real, how does a hot air balloon work? If gravity is real, if gravity under your scenario a little while ago that you were saying is holding thousands of trillions of gallons of water on the side and the bottom of the ball and causing people to magically stick to the Earth, etc., then how does a butterfly fly? How does a little bitty net kick gravity's ass? How do birds fly if gravity is real? Gravity is the G in one of the G's in Freemasonry. They make fun of people about that kind of stuff. Gravity is this whole heliocentric model is worshiping what the white man has created. All right, it's all lies. But one thing, brother, if we're in a debate, you can't use an argument that I'm not making. I never mentioned believing in the heliocentric model. So our argument shouldn't really. And I apologize, and I concede that. And the only reason why I made that statement is for those people who for edification purposes, because I want to concede that you have not made that argument. So I'm not saying that's I'm not giving you a reiterate like that.
That's being fair. That's being fair. All right, awesome. That was your time right there. Now look, man, y'all seem like y'all flowing pretty good, just asking each other questions and getting responses. Right. So we just gonna let y'all shoot it out, man. Shoot it out. Rapid fire, man. My Opti, you up next. I can get your 10. What you want to 20-minute rounds? Rapid fire, man.
Can we just do like 10 rounds? Because I got to get up early tomorrow.
Okay, look. Well, look. Go ahead and get you a 10-minute round. Now, look. Basically, cross-examine everything he just brought out in the previous round. Let's get it.
Okay.
You read a war that was a warning shot. So with that war by, I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word war, they convert the Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different
So, brother, in one of your, I guess you were like kind of like a diagram. You were kind of saying that the sun and the moon are coexist, like they're both over the whole world. So your reasoning for the fact that it's dark outside is that the sun is there, but it's just like hella far one way, right? And the sun and the moon is what's here, closer to where I'm at now, right? So you don't believe that the sun goes up or down?
No,
but it's just
I don't. So the scriptures in the book of Enoch talks about how the sun and the moon work. All right, there's the book of Enoch. Some people don't believe in it or whatever. And today I just took this debate at the last second, and I wish I had more time because I would have had a lot more information and all this other stuff. But the fact is as follows, just to answer your question real quick. All right. Mm-hmm. So the sun and the moon orbit around the flat circle of the earth. All right. So again, the earth, the sun, and the moon are small. They are local. All right. So that means they orbit around not only this way, but they also go higher and lower. All right. So not only are they going around, but based upon seasons, they go higher and lower. All right. And so that is how during certain times of the year that it's warm in the Chicago in certain areas, and then at other times it's colder or whatever, is because as it's going through its orbits, it's also going through, as the Bible calls it, I think it's chambers or whatever, if I'm not believing it's something like that, it says in Enoch, all right? But that's how the sun and the moon work. Have you ever seen the yin and yang symbol?
Yeah.
Right? Yin and yang symbol is also how they show you what is going on with the sun and the moon. That is that's representing the sun and the moon going above the circle earth. And so as it's dark on one side of the circle, it's light on the other side. That is what's going on with it. All right. So long and short, that's the answer to your question. In fact, let me just see 1 second. There's a video that I actually even have on my Facebook profile. Malachi, if I sent you a video on my Facebook profile, could you screen share it?
I mean, the video, we need a sound call for the video.
There's no sound on it, so that'll be fine. So okay. Give me 1 second, because I'm going to show you that, first of all, the sun and the moon are local. There are people taking pictures of clouds behind the sun. People are taking pictures of clouds behind the moon. So if you can take pictures of clouds behind the sun, that totally throws away the argument of the earth being 93 million miles away. I mean, the sun being 93 million miles away because of the fact that they're not clouds 93 million miles away, right? So the whole heliocentric model is a lie. And the thing is that we got to understand something, brother, is that the scriptures say that in the last days, knowledge shall increase. All right. And what is happening is that Gentile nations of people and even many Hebrews are waking up to the fact that this whole thing that we've been fed doesn't make sense. And people are just doing simple experiments. And I'm going to show you a few more. I mean, again, I took this thing at the last second, and got a couple. I wish I'm trying to figure out my screen share, because I want to screen share a number of things and really nail this home for a lot of people. And so give me 1 second, brother. Okay. You got another question, I'll answer while I'm looking up this information. So hit me with another question while I'm doing my thing.
Well, one thing I also wanted to point out is that and honestly, you're brilliant for doing it, but it doesn't fool me, which is the disproportionate dolls, I guess, that you had, and the toys that you was playing with. You have a balloon, and then you have these toys that are big as hell. You know what I mean? And clearly using that type of disproportionate examples, of course you're gonna make it look like and make people that believe in the round earth look stupid. But if you ever worked in construction and you saw, like, you know, what they call a blueprint, you know that let's say a certain amount of inches on a piece of paper in real life symbolize, you know, a much bigger measurement. You know, it could be yards, could be feet, could be miles. You know what I mean? So just like how you put a map on a book. So I guess if you were to use more proportionate figures or dolls, it would kind of undermine your own arguments.
Brother, at the end of the day, I mean, with all due respect, again, listen to what you say. Right? It doesn't matter what size, scale, this scenario, all right?
Yeah, put the doll up there. Oh, no, yeah.
So,
put the airplane up there.
Okay, of course, the airplane.
Now, is the airplane really that
I'm answering you. So,
big?
Okay, so again, brother, it doesn't matter. If I took this little piece and broke this little piece off, just use your head. It doesn't matter the scale of this airplane. All right.
It does in the grand scheme of things, brother.
Hear me out, brother.
Okay.
If this airplane were smaller, all right. So now this is the airplane, and I'm going to make this. We're going to use the big balloon. All right. So now this is the Earth, and this is the airplane. This is the top of the plane. If this plane flew from North America down to South America, eventually it's going to be hanging upside down. It doesn't matter what size this thing is, no matter what this shape, everything is on this ball is going to have to contour to the shape of the ball because it's three-dimensional, brother. So no matter what, this thing has depth and it's three-dimensional. So therefore, anything that is on top of it is going to, for it to stay on this, is going to have to conform to the shape of this. The difference between a plane flying on this and going from the North Pole to the South Pole is that, right? But I'm going to show you on a flat Earth map what. Whoa, sorry, people downstairs. I keep on knocking over a piece of artwork I got here. But again, I got a couple. I'm trying to screen share something, but I'm not able to get this to you, bro. But there, give me one more second.
Sure.
1 second. Please forgive me for the audience. And if you got another question, I'm gonna answer it. So just, I can rapid fire. I can multitask. I on a part-time basis Uber drive, and I take people to the airport on a regular basis. And so I have discussions with people about this as I'm taking them to the airport. And I give them my phone number, and I tell them to text me after they've landed, because I deprogram them as I teach them this stuff as I'm taking them to the airport. So that by the time they land, I say, here's my phone number. I want you to tell me what you learned. And I can't even tell you how many times people are like, oh my God, you have totally changed my life. I am a flat earther. Because all you got to do is get up in the sky and you look and you can clearly see that it's a lie. There is no curvature. Again, this whole model to live in a ball is absolutely impossible. So when people get in the air, all I tell people to do is, when you get in the sky, you have to be able to, if we live in a ball, eventually a person would have to be able to see nothing but nothingness in the horizon, right? And eventually they would have to be facing going down, right? And what was funny is I had people a few weeks ago who were coming from Brazil. And I said, let me ask you this, because I said, hey, you came from Brazil. You just got off the plane. I brought up a picture of the Earth, and I said, you weren't standing like this on the side of the Earth, were you? They said, no. And I said, so does this make sense? And they're like, absolutely not. So again, this is all a lie. This is a great deception.
It's funny. You put a bed bug right on that balloon, and it's gonna and the bed bug is gonna think that whole thing is flat. You know that, right?
No, the bed. So first of all, you are going into the mind of a bed bug. Well,
you have to, because you're taking this big, huge Earth that's I don't know how many miles big, and you're making a little balloon, and you're taking these big ass dolls, and it's just disproportionate,
bro. All right,
and I'm kidding with you. I'm not. We joking around.
No, and unfortunately, my computer is really working slow, and I took this thing at the last second, and I really
it just happens to be working slow, huh?
No, bro, I'm certainly not running from your questions. If you want me to continue trying to find this video, I will gladly listen. I want to do it because I want to show you without question that I just had this thing on my Facebook, but I got this jinky ass computer. That the sun and the moon are local. There is no. Oh, give me one more second. Next question. Give me your next question.
Okay, so I got a scripture I'd like you to examine with me, brother. Wisdom of Solomon 13:2.
What's that?
But deem Salak.
Go ahead. Listen.
But deem with either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heavens to be the gods which govern the world. Now, again, going back to your ball, your argument about what's a ball and what's a circle. Now, this scripture right here just called the stars circles, right?
Yes.
The circle of the stars. Sorry?
It didn't say a ball.
Not a ball.
Okay, great. So what's your point?
But if you look on a telescope and you look at the stars, they're all round. So they are balls. Are they not?
No. Again, so
we're looking at a flat, round thing. So the Earth is flat and round like this, but the stars are flat and round like this.
What does first of all, the Bible, that the stars in the Bible are angels. That's what the Bible says. Stars are angels. All right. So
all stars in the Bible are angels, brother?
That's what the Bible calls
all of them. All of them?
Brother, if you ask me a question and I'm trying to respond, I can't, excuse me for talking while you're interrupting. All right.
Okay.
The fact is that the Bible calls angels stars, right?
It also calls Israelite stars, though.
So are we round? Under your theory, then that means we're round too. Then, if you're going to make that kind of straw man, then again, so hear me out, brother. You
see how that's illogical, right?
No, I'm glad you used that term, illogical. So
yeah.
So let's try to reel in and be logical. One breath, you are saying that scale doesn't matter. All right. So once again, we're talking about scale. Right? So just a little while ago, you were saying that a bed bug would be hanging under this thing, thinking that it doesn't matter. The fact is that a small bed bug would eventually still be hanging upside down. And yet I don't see what you don't get about scale and the shape of the difference between a ball and a circle. I mean, at a certain point, this debate is not even a debate because I can't get past your poor comprehension of nomenclature. There's a difference between.
I got to be the one with poor understanding. Okay, my bad.
No, listen, brother. Again, if the script, we've on more than one occasion gone through the difference between a ball and a circle. At the beginning of this debate and discussion, you initially started out with Isaiah 40:22. It is he that sits on the circle of the earth. It was me that brought out the fact that there's also a scripture. Isaiah made the difference between a ball and a circle. And again, I've tried to get you to understand
Did he
something.
say it was a difference between a ball and a circle?
Excuse me, brother.
He didn't say it was a difference.
Brother,
he just described one as a circle, one as a ball.
Okay, so you want to bring us into the realm of almost retardation. Do people play basket, circle, or basketball?
No, I think you're doing it.
Answer, no, brother. Brother, do people play basket, circle, or basketball?
Basketball.
So there's a difference. They don't play basketball.
What shape is a basketball?
Is it round, brother? Is a basketball round?
You tell me. Is it?
Is a tennis ball round? Do they play tennis? Is it called a tennis circle or a tennis ball?
But it's still round, is it? What's the shape of it?
Is it called a tennis circle or a tennis ball, brother? For the sake of people and understand,
it's a tennis ball.
There may be small children that could be learning something, the difference. So please, for the sake of the children and the mentally disabled, help them understand between you and the circle and a ball. Do they play basket, circle, or basketball?
Basketball.
Okay, so that would then mean that there's a difference between the two, right?
Again, that's what's the word I used earlier? Semantics.
It's not semantics.
What's the shape of a basketball, brother?
Can we break down the definition one more time for the sake of the audience? So we're going to go.
No. What's the shape of a basketball, brother? What is the shape of a basketball?
The shape of a basketball.
Is it square? Is it square?
It's a sphere. You know what a sphere is?
Okay, but it's what is a sphere? Is it not round?
Again, so the person who's engaging in semantics and a form of retardation, I'm going to have to say that now, is you. All right,
so now you have to be condescending
because you are bringing me there.
Because you're wrong and you've been proven wrong. You have to be condescending, brother.
No, listen, brother. You're not proving me wrong. What is being obviously proven by you?
You're proving yourself wrong. You're talking about not trusting the white man, but then you trust in the UN logo.
Listen, brother.
Does that make sense?
All right. So no, what makes more sense is the following: that when I ask you if people are standing in the southern hemisphere like this, and you said gravity is causing people to stand on the southern hemisphere like that, that made sense to you. That makes sense. This makes sense that people are standing right now in Brazil this way. That makes sense to you. But what doesn't make sense to you, based upon my discussion in this debate, is that the earth is a flat circle, and that people are standing in various places on a map of the flat circle of the earth, and that the surfaces of the water would be flat because the Arctic Circle is holding the waters in on the earth, that the earth is not spinning. Now, again, you never said the earth is spinning. And so for the sake, I'm not going to say that that's your argument. The only reason why I'm saying that is that the heliocentric model says that, and most people who believe in the globe model, and there may be people who are watching this presentation or this debate, may believe in the heliocentric model, which says that the earth is spinning. But even though you're not saying that, if you believe, if I take this circle and put it like this, and if this were a three-dimensional sphere, that would mean that people would be standing like this on the equator, and people would be standing like this. This makes more sense to you than this. And if that makes more sense to you, this debate needs to be over because I can't help you.
It's time. Okay, now trip off this. Asarel, it's your turn, your 10-minute round. To go ahead and rapid fire question him on what it is. Anything you have to question him about. Go ahead.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So with that war about, I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
All right, so brother, I need you to once again, please, because you've asked me a number of questions about the earth in terms of it being round, or you've been getting in form of conjecture with me about the improbability or implausibility of this scenario. All right, so please explain for the audience, right? Please explain to the audience how water sticks to the side of a ball. Because we know, in fact, Malachi, can you do me a favor? Can you screen share the picture of the image of an earth for me, please, for the sake of the audience, so we can all get a visual?
You said what you want me to screen share, brother?
Image of the earth. Image of the earth.
All right.
Picture of the earth.
Image of the earth. All right, you just send it. Hello.
Which one? The UN vision? Image?
Dang. All right, this is what I got from you. Is not only please be ready to broadcast the other situation you sent me with 11 attachments on it.
I'm still trying to figure it out. Trevor, do you know how to screen share things?
No, I was saying, ask Valley if he set up permissions on there, because it might be where he's just like the leader of the group.
My son was saying, do you have your permission set up that the screen sharing is able, that I'm able to do that, Malachi?
Yeah, we was doing it. Me and you was doing it earlier.
We were doing it earlier. Yeah.
All right, now check that out. That's the image you got. You see that?
All right. So on that ball, because you say that the earth is a ball. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, under the image that Malachi has shown right now, are you looking at the image, brother?
Yeah, that's all right.
So on that image, under my circle image, that would be laying down flat like this. So what you would be seeing is an aerial view above it. Under the globe model, you have basically on the equator, water sticking to the side of a ball. So that means that if I were to pour water on this ball, on the globe scenario, the water would have to stick to the side and the bottom of the ball, because that's represented there in that model. That's what the globe model says. So please explain to me how water not only sticks to the side of a ball, but how does water bend and curve around a ball? Please explain that to us.
Well, it's not hard to believe that there's something around that ball that's holding stuff down, no?
What is holding it down? Where in the scriptures is anything holding water down?
I guess you could say gravity. Where in the scriptures is the earth flat, though?
Where in
the scriptures is the earth flat?
It says the earth is a circle. The earth again. So, brother.
But to you, the circle is a flat circle. Hey, brother, where's the earth flat? Where's the scripture? Where's the scripture?
Excuse me for talking while you're interrupting. You ask.
That sounds good, but where's the scripture?
Right, so excuse me for talking while you're interrupting. We are
that
going
sounds good, but where's the scripture?
Excuse me, brother, for talking while you're interrupting.
Well, I'm interrupting. Where's the scripture? Okay.
The scripture is Isaiah 40:22.
Name an animal with 3 letters in its name. Frog. Really, nigga?
But it's a circle. It's round.
Okay, great. And so the answer to your next question is that you say we live in Isaiah 22:18. You say we live in Isaiah 22:18. So explain.
I say we live in both.
Brother, no, you can't have it both ways, because that means that there's no sense for us having a debate, because you are confused. All right, so
no, maybe it's you that's confused. How about that?
No, you say we live on Isaiah 22:18. So explain to me how water sticks on Isaiah 22:18.
Gravity.
Gravity. Okay, so gravity says, so people are hanging upside down because of gravity on the equator. Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that they're hanging upside down. You did.
No, so how do
you use the disproportionate ass ball?
No, again,
disproportionate dolls.
So, brother, I ask you, do you have a basketball at home?
No.
Do you have any ball at home? You have any ball at home? Any kind of ball?
Nah, I can't think of one offhand.
Okay. How about this? Can you, so you have nothing to use for a demonstration. So again, because of the fact, because I'm trying to get you, by way of you defending your own argument, I would like you, because you're trying to act like my demonstration things are not proper scale. All right. And what I've said to you and what I'm trying to get you you concede is the fact that there's a difference between a ball and a circle. And if you are not willing to concede the fact that a sphere or a ball is three-dimensional and a circle is two-dimensional, a circle can be a flat disc, but it's not a ball, then it doesn't make sense for us to have this discussion, because you, in one breath, say that you came to debate, you came to defend this, but when I'm asking you specific things about this, which you say you believe in,
I'm not defending the balloon, brother. I'm defending the earth.
Okay, so brother, so again, that's what I'm talking about. So now you want to relegate us into
well, you don't believe in gravity, so I mean,
okay. So
if you don't believe in gravity, then
so,
how do you explain this?
I'm going to ask you.
How do you explain this?
You want me to answer that now, right?
This pen,
yes,
it ain't flying. That's
called density and buoyancy. So the density of your pen that just fell out of your hand is more dense than the oxygen around it. The molecules of it, right? That is what gravity is. What they call quote unquote gravity is density and buoyancy. Because again, here is your response. If gravity is real, how do hot air balloons work? How do hot air balloons kick gravity's ass if gravity is real? You've seen a hot air balloon before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So,
I mean, I don't know the science between how the hot air makes it rise, but
wait. So the thing is that
look, this falling too.
Exactly,
piece
right?
of paper. My remote control, everything falls.
So are you saying that everything? So you know that there are things called magnets, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So are you suggesting that the Earth has a magnetic quality to it?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. So I'm asking you questions. Does the Earth have a magnetic force to it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't say so.
Yes or no? Does the Earth have a magnetic force?
No.
Okay, great. So then on a ball, are people standing like this? You say that people, again, this is what you're defending. There is no way. That's why I'm asking you to get a ball.
Well, that's where we get into the proportionate thing.
Once again, brother, it doesn't matter what size a ball is. As long as it's three-dimensional, it's going to have to go around the shape of a ball. That's why I want you to get a ball. How about this, brother? Do me a favor. Take your fingers and go around your head. Do like this, brother. Do like this.
You're not gonna have me looking stupid, brother.
No, brother. Do like this. Do like this.
You ain't gonna have me on this video looking stupid.
Pretend like your fingers.
You can go right ahead and do that if you want to.
Your head. Because let me just see something. Are my fingers right now standing up like a normal human being right now? And if I were to take my fingers and walk around the side of my head, isn't it like this now? So that was what would happen on a ball if we lived on a ball. Wait, if I had my fingers like this, that would be representative of the southern hemisphere, right?
You can't compare.
And if I decided if I could walk around my big dome head,
you said it, not me.
Like that, right? Exactly. So let's again, because I'm trying to deal with your very elementary argument, and I'm asking you to defend your position. You said you were prepared to defend this thing, and every question I'm asking you about this, you're running from, and then you engage.
I didn't run from anything. I answered all your questions, brother.
No, you're not answering me. So again,
you still have yet to answer Wisdom of Solomon 13:2.
I answered your Wisdom of Solomon because again, the Wisdom of Solomon said
you made up something about the size of the sun. You have no proof of that.
What? Brother, first of all, you in one breath said you're not defending the heliocentric model. So if you're not defending the heliocentric model, we don't even have to have a discussion about the sun. We don't have to have it. We're talking about the Earth. Now again,
no, see, that's a nice tactic. Brother, hold up. That's a nice tactic, but you can't do that. You can't do that. So because there is a sun. And there is a sun in relationship to the Earth, right?
Yes.
Is it not?
Yes.
And is the sun not round?
The sun, what we do see.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's a circle like this, and we're like this, right,
brother? So if you are going to ask me a question, you have to allow me to answer it, right? So again, A circle and a ball are two different things. What I have said and what I'm conceding is this follows. And all that we know, because NASA has never said we've gone to the moon, sun, right? NASA's never made that lie and assertion that we've gone to the sun. So what we all perceive is as follows, and we should be willing to concede, is that first of all, from what we can see, the sun is certainly a circle. It looks to be concave. That's what it looks to be. But since we've never gone to the sun, that's the most that I can argue, is that the sun definitely looks round and it looks concave. I can definitely tell the moon is concave, but of course the sun is so bright, we really can't even tell if it's even concave, right? But we can definitely tell it's round. We can definitely tell the moon is concave because we can see, convex, because we can see that it's got an oval, or we can see a three-dimensional shape to it. So again, that doesn't make it a ball, because a ball.
So the moon is three-dimensional.
We know that the moon is at least two-dimensional, brother. We can definitely tell the moon is concave because we can see, convex, because we can see that it's got an oval, or we can see a three-dimensional shape to it.
Oh, we know that it's two-dimensional.
It's at least two.
So how do you explain the stages of the moon?
That's a question, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what does Genesis call the moon?
Which scripture?
Let's go to Genesis.
Talking about a light?
Thank you. So,
okay.
All right. So the moon is a light. The moon phases happen within the moon, and the moon phases is very easily disproven, or easily proven, in terms of what they tell us about the moon phases being a lie, by as follows. We are down here on Earth, correct?
Yes.
And we look up to see both the sun and the moon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And they tell us that the sun is casting a shadow upon the moon to create the moon phases, correct?
I guess that's what Esau says. I didn't say I believe that.
Okay, what you believe is okay. Again, we're dealing with what they tell us,
right?
Not what you necessarily believe.
But this is a debate between myself and yourself, not
brother,
them versus us, brother.
So you asked me a question. You asked me a question. What about the moon phases? I'm answering you. I'm trying to make sure that we are understanding what they tell us. All right. So what they tell us is that the sun is casting a shadow on the moon as a consequence of the earth passing between the sun and the moon. But the fact is we are down here and the sun and moon are up there. So there's no way we down here are casting a shadow on something up there, because that's impossible. Does that make sense?
Sorry?
So does that make sense now?
Yeah.
All right. So here's another way to prove that that doesn't make sense. Again, let's just deal with this scenario of a ball. They say that the earth is a ball, right? You argue that the earth is a ball, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And one of the moon phases is a half moon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does a ball cast a straight line down another ball? Because the half moon phase is that the moon is literally split in half, and one half is dark and one half is light. So how does a ball, which is a curved shape, cast a straight line down another ball?
All right, y'all. All right. We got time. Time just ran out. What we gonna do now? It seems like we going in circles or balls.
Yes. Exactly.
Whoa, pause.
But look, this is what we gonna do.
Let's wrap this up. I think I've established my point. I would have liked to have gone to more scriptures, but unfortunately, I grabbed this debate at the last second.
I want to commend both of you brothers for that. What we gonna do is just take a few questions from the comment board, and then You know what I'm saying? And then you both you brothers, you know what I'm saying? We can get up off her. I want to thank y'all again for coming on, though. Bringing scripts out, bringing your logic out. You understand? And then with Arsurel, you even brought out a few screen shares as well. So it's all good. So for the crowd, anybody listening, for the crowd, throw some questions. What questions?
Oh, by the way, Malachi, I'd like you to do one thing, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, especially if we about to wrap up something real quick. So you know, on those screen shares that I sent you, can you do a favor for the folks? I want to show people a couple more things. So bring up that one with the Freemasons on it.
Okay. You know, 10 more minutes rapid fire. All right, bang, bang, bang. All right, you say with the Freemasons, the Masonic, the Masonic Lodge. You talking about that Masonic Lodge painting?
Yep.
Okay, I see that. I got you. Hold on 1 second. I got it pulled up. Let me go ahead and hit the screen share real quick. And then all right, bang, share.
All right. So that is basically, they're showing you literally what the earth is described. And I still had a lot more scriptures. So the earth says that the scriptures say there are foundations of the earth and that there are pillars of the earth. Those pillars, let me go through those pillars of the earth scriptures real quick, if you don't mind. But the scriptures say that they're pillars. All right. And then also the scriptures also say that the earth is the Most High's footstool. So footstools have pillars and legs, etc. Those pillars represent, as the scriptures say, the pillars of the earth. As you can see, the dome right over there above the eye is representing the firmament. All right. The sun and moon are within the firmament, as the scriptures say, and the flat earth, right? Hold on, I got a couple other things too in terms of the fact that, again, the brother said, I don't have to, I guess, present the scriptures in terms of the earth not moving, but if he was presenting the argument that the earth was moving, there are plenty of scriptures that say the earth does not move. He's not arguing the heliocentric model, but that would be Zechariah 1:11, talking about the earth not moving. Psalms 104:5, he laid the foundations of the earth that it should not be moved. Psalms 93:1, the Lord reigneth, and he clothed with majesty. The Lord clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself, and also established the world as it not be moved. Psalms 96:10. Say along to the heathen, the Most High reigneth. The world also shall be established, and it shall not be moved. 1 Chronicles 16:30. Fear before him all the earth, that all the world shall be stable, that it be not moved. Isaiah 11:12 talks about the earth having corners, and Revelation 7:1 talks about the earth having corners, and
just like your head and your beard, right?
No, so we can talk about that scripture, the corners of your beard, and that has.
You know what, brother? You made a believer out of me. I finally found the scripture that says the earth is flat.
Where's that?
Isaiah 67:3.
No such scripture.
Of course.
Exactly.
Guess what the earth, what it does say? Guess what it says? It says it's a circle. And guess what it doesn't say it is? It doesn't say it's a ball. And so therefore, you have not.
Well, where's the scripture that says it's flat?
Right.
Listen,
where's the scripture that says the earth flat?
What it doesn't say is it's that it's a ball. And so therefore, if the earth is not a circle, I mean, if the earth is not a ball, and they told us that we live in a ball, then I mean, again, I'm conceding the fact that there are hills and valleys.
So what about if the flat earthers become a majority, and then all of a sudden they're teaching in school? So you can't just say because they say it. Because I'm holding up how many fingers on my right hand?
What's that? You're holding
one
up
finger, right?
You're holding up one finger, but you still got 5 fingers in your hand. I don't know what debate you would.
How many I'm holding up though?
You're holding up one.
Okay, how many fingers am I holding up on my left hand?
One. What's your point?
How many total fingers am I holding up?
2.
All right. Does the white man not say 1 + 1 = 2?
Oh my goodness.
Is that wrong?
Brother, so can we have a logical conversation?
That is logical.
I mean, brother, no, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying, brother, so the thing is that with all due respect, man.
You want to talk about logical, brother, but you're holding up a balloon and you're putting big-ass dolls on it. That's not logical.
We're going back to the balloon.
You're telling me that Antarctica surrounds the whole planet.
No,
that's not logical.
So listen. So no. But what is logical to you is that people are standing on the equator upside in the southern hemisphere upside down. That makes a lot more sense to you.
No, what I'm saying is that people are standing right side up wherever they're at. In a round Earth model.
Even if they're in Chile, they're
and that there's gravity.
Because of gravity. Okay. And that makes sense to you. And
yeah.
So once
just
again,
like if I hold this piece of paper up here and I drop it, it's gonna fall down, right?
Okay. And how often does your friend Mr. Snuffleupagus come by?
Who's that?
I mean, that makes just as much sense as everything else you said. Mr. Snuffleupagus.
So when you drop something from your hand, it don't fall down? Which direction is this falling, brother?
That's falling down.
Oh.
If you had
there's no gravity though.
If you had
gravity's an illusion.
If you had a helium balloon, would it fall?
A helium balloon, no, because there's something about helium that makes it rise.
Would you like to know what it is?
What is it?
That helium is lighter than oxygen.
Ah, that's cool.
All right. So because again, so what the formula for what is the argument for gravity is density and buoyancy. The more dense and more buoyant something is determines if it's going to float or fall. Gravity is that is something that people, gravity is a god for people. Gravity is this word that people use to explain the illogical and retarded. So gravity is the excuse that people use for water sticking to the side of a ball. Gravity is the thing that whenever nobody can ever explain anything, they always say gravity. Because again, the only way water is curbing right now on this is that it's being contained in this ball, this thing right here. That's the only way water is bending. But guess what? The surface outside of that is flat. So in your thinking, something is called, because you believe in the ball model, that there's something around the earth that's causing water to bend. But of course, oceans, there's nothing on top of an ocean that causes the water to bend, because then this boats would be on top of something. So this whole thing makes sense to you.
So explain the drone. How does a drone fly? How does a drone fly? A drone.
A drone flies because of, you're talking about an airplane drone?
Like any drone. Like, you know, even one of those you buy off Groupon. How do those fly?
Those fly based upon the propellers going against the lift and stuff like that. That's a mechanical thing.
So somehow it shoots wind downwards.
Of course, because of the propellers are creating lift as a consequence of the propeller spinning. It creates lift. But guess what? If the propellers, guess what? Guess what, brother? If the propellers turn the opposite direction, it would stick to the ground. Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So what's your next question?
So if you take a drone, right? Let's say the maximum capacity that this drone can fly is 10 feet. And you go on and you have it go up a hill. Now the hill by itself, let's say the hill goes up as high as 50 feet. 50 feet. So now you can say that this drone that's only capable of going up 10 feet is now up 60 feet if it's on top of a 50-foot hill, no?
I don't know what you're talking about, and that doesn't have anything to do with this discussion, brother.
It does. You know what it is? No, brother. I'm gonna say my last piece, because honestly, it's turning into a fruitless debate, and
it is. I mean, because
what we about to do? Sure about this, y'all. What we about to do? We about to go ahead and take some questions from the actual audience.
Right.
That's listening. All right.
They're all asleep.
Y'all stick around. Y'all
There's 136 viewers. They watch.
Yeah, they watching. So look, where y'all got questions? Where y'all questions at? And you know what I'm saying? Ask your question and direct them to whom you ask them towards, and we gonna get her done. All right.
I wish I could find this video.
And then y'all can make your closing statement that Charlotte wants to make.
Who got questions? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Who got questions? No, y'all got questions. Bless up. Okay.
Told you they fell asleep.
Yeah, here we go. Right. Chapman, ask him, is it possible to take a non-stop flight from Australia to Hawaii without refueling? That's for both of y'all.
Australia to Hawaii.
No, I'm sorry, excuse me. Hold on for a second. I'll show you. There are many trips that prove that the Earth is flat, and I can show you the aeronautical things. That's again one of the things. Again, if I had more time, that's why I was trying to back out of this. Mally, explain to the people. I even called. I had some issues going on, guys, and I was distracted me, and I was about to back out of this debate because I took it at the last second. Initially, I was thinking it was going to be next week, and then it was determined it was going to be today, and so I took it this morning, and I came home to try to prepare for it, but then I got distracted with some other personal stuff, and I had a lot of information that I wanted to really put together and do. I mean, I know this back and forth, and I have all kinds of information that I really could have presented in terms of having the flat Earth map, and I was trying to do screen share and stuff like that. But long story short, there are a number of airline routes that prove that the Earth is flat. For example, whenever you see flights that leave the United States and going to certain places in South America or China, they always stop over in parts of Europe. And it's because of the fact that the flight path on a flat Earth map, and I'm going to show you the flat Earth map one more time. I'm going to see if I can I'll send that to you, but because the flight patterns don't work on a globe model. They only work on a flat Earth map.
I got you. Hold on. All right. I'm trying to find what you're talking about, bro.
Hold on a second. So I'm trying to find, give me 1 second. Images.
You send me something, I'm about to pull it up now.
All right. Give me 1 second.
All right, cool. All right, flat Earth map. You want me to show the one that's a ball in a circle, or you want me to show the one that looks like a valley, like this one right here? Hold on.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get. Yeah, and I'm really disappointed I didn't send you all a lot more stuff. Okay, so you see the one that says Orlando flat Earth map. That is, so that one shows the 4 corners of the Earth. All right, it's brown or whatever. That's how so that represents how the Earth is, you know, when it talks about the 4 corners of the Earth. So it's a circle with corners, inches of the 4 corners of the Earth. As you can see, the ridge around it would be the dome, the Antarctica, etc. And again, that makes more sense than a globe model.
Grand Canyon. Right there, square and stationary Earth. Go ahead and explain yourself, Bob.
All right, so give me 1 second. Let me see what. And I'm sorry, guys. Where did I go? Where did I go?
I got it.
I don't even see. I don't even see. Oh, I see where you're at. Okay, hold up.
Hey, brother, you mind sending some of that vodka over here to Jersey?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that, as we can see there, so on the scriptures talk about that there are angels standing at the corners of the earth. All right. So as you can see, that represents the scripture said that there are ends of the earth, that there's corners of the earth. There's no way you can have corners on a ball. All right. The corners do not exist on a ball.
So your head is round, is flat, brother?
Brother, when it's talking about edges of your beard, you know what it's talking about. Your beard
extremities.
No, brother, that's not what it means. All right.
Yes, it does. The Hebrew word for ends means extremities.
Okay. And so as you can see in
notice he's moving on to another subject because he can't cut that.
Because you
can't cut that, brother.
You know what? You can still haven't answered how water sticks on a ball, on the thing that you say that you believe in. You can't answer that. And you, again, when I presented the video, some kind of demonstration to show it, you argue the scale, right? And you keep on saying no matter what scale I use, that you argue it, but you don't have any visual references for it. And then when I ask you simple questions about the same thing that you believe in, you can't defend where and how people are standing on the South Pole and the equator, etc. So anyway,
I have scriptures that say that the earth is round.
My goodness, we're going over that again. All right, next question.
All right, next question.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So with that war by, I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
Next question. Hold on. I got you. It said, ask Arsurel. This is for you, Arsurel. This is from Brother Out the Mud Watchman. Ask Arsurel what's above the firmament.
Waters above the firmament. So whenever you look in the sky, the reason why the scriptures say that the Most High separated the waters above and the waters below. All right. So when the reason why you look in the sky, you see the sky is blue, is because that's literally water above the surface of the earth. Malachi, you know the book of Enoch a lot better than me, and I know you know those scriptures where it talks about that there's chambers and stuff like that. But that's literal waters. In fact, even in Genesis, when the Most High brought the flood, it says He opened up the windows of the heavens. All right. So there's obviously waters above the earth. And when the floods came, Most High opened the windows of the heaven and let the waters come down from above. And also,
so how are those waters sticking?
The waters are because the firmament is above the earth. There's a dome above the earth called the firmament. And so also under I was just about to say something. Hit me with his retarded, his question.
Why do I gotta be retarded, man? Why you gotta put me down for, brother?
I apologize, brother. The question stupefied me. So, but I hope that, brother, I answered the brother's question. So there are waters above the earth, and no, the other thing was other proof in terms of the moon. Or here's another interesting thing. Next time in the daytime, and you see a moon in a moon phase, like a half moon or a quarter moon or a crescent moon, in the daytime, notice that you see the same blue as in that moon phase as around it, which proves that the moon is actually porous, all right? Because what you're seeing is the same blue of the sky. So the moon is not something that they can land on. It's a light. It's obviously porous, and that's why even when the moon phases occur, that in the daytime you see the blackness of the sky in whatever moon phase. And the same as happens in the daytime. When it's daytime and the sky is crystal blue, you see the same blue that's behind the moon is shining through the moon because the moon is porous. And the moon phases happen within the moon, not happening outside of it.
Okay, the op that asked about the nonstop flight, Raheem Chapman, he said, can you just answer my question? He talking to you, Arsurel. He said he's talking about a nonstop flight from Melbourne, Australia to Hawaii.
Let me just see something. Let's just see. Images.
Uh-oh.
I gotta look at it because I can't look at it on a globe model. I have to look at it in a flat earth to make sure that I'm making it. I don't want to, unlike you, I just don't want to say anything that comes to my head. All right. I want to make
I didn't say anything that came to my head.
Okay. Non-stop flight from Melbourne to where?
Melbourne to To Hawaii, from Melbourne, Australia to Hawaii.
No.
You say no?
But they're so close.
Well, actually, Melbourne, Hawaii.
He said he's talking about a nonstop flight from
Melbourne to Hawaii. I don't see that being possible. That would be a very, very difficult flight. No, I don't see that being possible.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Raheem. Brothers say if the edge, Arctic Circle, Antarctica, whatever they claim about the supposed ice wall, what about the wall makes it impossible for someone to go over to prove they're correct? Surreal.
Well, the thing is that there's a pact between 13 nations that Antarctica is militarized. All right. So what happened is if you do some research, and again, that's why I was trying to back out because I wanted to have a lot more stuff. Operation Paperclip and Operation what they tried to do when they discovered that there was a firmament of the earth, they literally started sending nuclear missiles to try to hit the firmament and to destroy the firmament because they realized that there was an impenetrable dome. And it was called Operation Fishbowl. All right. So you do some research on Operation Fishbowl, and they hide the truth is hidden in plain sight. But that's what they were trying to do, and that's why it's called Operation Fishbowl, because we live in an enclosed environment, in an enclosed dome. How NASA was created was actually Operation Paperclip. The United States government incorporated the German rocket scientists after the war because the Germans had much more advanced rockets, propulsion scientists and engineers. And so what the United States government did was they took Germany's rocket scientists and engineers and incorporated them and created the agency that we know as today as NASA. So America took the Nazis and created NASA. And these people are all certified Satanists. And if you also understand something, that all of the planets that we have, the whole heliocentric model is under the god Helios, Greek gods. All of our planets are named after gods, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, and stuff like that. These are all gods. And these stars, these planets that that they call planets are actually stars. And these are, again, a form of worshiping fallen angels, although they're not fallen, but it's, again, worshiping other gods or deities, because they have made these stars gods by giving them names that we revere, etc. And this is all part of the heliocentric model and part of the satanic world that we live in.
Next question is from Jedediah Ben Israel. His question is, if we live in a dome, why didn't Chernobyl and Nagasaki or Hiroshima affect everyone on Earth? Oh, awesome.
Well, because of the fact that, first of all, that's a very good question, just the enormity of the Earth. All right, so, I mean, we have to understand that there is a lot of distance in terms of how big the Earth is. All right, in fact, there's a lot of different theories with regards to the flat Earth model. Some believe, and I think it's a very good possibility, that there may be other parts that these world elite have access to that they're not showing us. And they show some things like that in the movie. What was the movie that Tom Cruise came out a few years ago? It was some kind of really futuristic thing, and anyway, I think I know what you're talking about. It was a real cool spaceship in this thing or whatever, right? But anyway, in this particular film, that's what they were representing. They were showing that there was basically other land outside of the thing. So to answer the brother's question, though, the Most High also the Earth is a living form, and the Most High is not going to allow a lot of these things that these wicked humans have been doing to corrupt and destroy the Earth to affect all mankind. So it has certain things to heal and purify itself, right? So the reason why there are probably waters above and stuff like that, if you really think about it, looking at how we pollute the earth, all waters would be totally contaminated if the Most High didn't have other fresh water sources coming on the earth. So there's obviously some kind of re-sustaining or re-establishing force within the earth that is kind of keeping us protected from a lot of the stuff that's going on. That's my best estimation. I wish I could give you a better answer.
His next question.
Hold on. I just want to kind of backtrack a little bit because it's funny how he just used probably, but when I used probably earlier, he said that's not a definite. So
I want you to notice that people aren't
he hit you with a good question.
I want you to notice that people aren't asking you questions.
People aren't asking me questions?
We're still waiting for anybody to ask you a question.
Because what I said made sense.
This will be a YouTube sensation.
The flat earth don't make sense. That's why.
All right, this next question is for both of y'all. Who came up with the globe model Earth? Go ahead, Yeshaya. You can answer first, huh?
The Most High. When he created it.
Who came up with
so the Sir Isaac Newton was one of the people, but hold on, it was actually started by Galileo, or give me 1 second because I had this information up too.
The Phoenicians knew the earth was round back then, brother.
No, they didn't, brother. They again.
Oh my gosh,
brother!
The Phoenicians knew it, brother. The Greeks knew it.
No, they didn't. Again, so listen. The Greeks are booty bandits. All right. So again, but the fact is that hold on, I had this information up earlier.
So because they're faggots, they can't know the earth is round?
No, brother.
Hey, man.
I can't even.
So there's no gay flat earthers?
Next question. I can't even deal with this guy, man.
Hey, man. Y'all crazy, man. Hey, y'all crazy, man. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, hey, we're definitely going to exchange numbers. I'm going to work with this Hebrew and get it done.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I want y'all to do too, man. Y'all change. Keep this going, man.
Hey, I wish, you know, and I really feel that I want to tell everybody that, first of all, I'm really glad to have done this, and I wish I had had more time because, honestly, I've researched this stuff, and if I had enough time to have really put together the presentation that I wanted to, I would have been able to get a lot more visual demonstrations, et cetera, et cetera. Because the brother was not necessarily arguing the heliocentric model, then I didn't have to deal with that, etc. But
that's a good excuse for being unprepared, brother.
Listen, the person gave more information. How many Malachi? How many scriptures? Who brought the most scriptures?
Hey, look, you actually brought the most scriptures.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, and who used visual representations?
You did.
Okay,
which were totally disproportionate
to you.
The next question. The next question.
By the way, the person that created the person that the white man gives credit to starting the globe is a guy by the name of Martin Behame in 1492. But the Phoenicians knew that the earth was round thousands of years before.
Okay. True about this. So, Brother Obed, Big O 581 say, so if an individual travel to the north in an airplane continuously, they would crash into an invisible wall.
Well,
that's for our reason.
Okay, so the thing is that they would not crash into an invisible wall. They would probably be met by military force. All right. So there is. I'm going to show you real quick, and I can easily get that information. I can screen share that should tell you the loop. Give me 1 second.
He's asking you a hypothetical question, brother. Ignore the military force.
Brother, so let me answer his question. I don't need you because they're not asking you questions.
Because you make no sense.
No, they're not asking you any questions because they know you don't have any answers. So anyway, the thing is that there is, if you could go to the end of the earth or to the edge of the earth, you would again be met with military force. Now, there's a movie that came out a few years ago called The Truman Show, right? And The Truman Show, they kind of tongue-in-cheek make a lot of fun of the flat earth model, et cetera, because what they show is when Truman gets to the edge and he's doing all that stuff to the wall, it's because there is a wall on the edge of the earth that you can't get out. This whole Truman thing is that Truman believed the world that he lived in that was told to him. So because of the fact we believe the world based upon the information that we're given, and Truman didn't know in that movie that everything around him was staged, everything was controlled or whatever. But that movie showed they were talking about the earth being flat, that there's the earth is enclosed. Truman even talked about, he jokingly said, it's just nothing but a 2,000-foot wall of ice, and that's never stopped me. So again, these movies make fun of the shape and the earth, and they leave the truth in plain sight on a regular basis. There is a commercial, Malachi, if I can send you a link, there's a commercial called apartments.com on YouTube. And although you can't see the audio, I'll send this thing to you right now. And they show you again, this is, they always leave the truth in plain sight. And people just don't pay attention to what they're sharing. But hold on, I'll send this to you real quick. And people may not, it's a real short commercial. But when I first saw this, I laughed my ass off because it's showing you the firmament, the sun and the moon within the firmament, everything enclosed, et cetera, et cetera. It's a 50, give me 1 second, here it comes. Give me 1 second.
Right here, this is for the Akishaya. From Matt Scott, he says, so you trust the Greek that says it's round. He says, show me any Phoenician globe that was created by them. That's for Yeshaya.
I don't have a Phoenician globe, but I have read books that said that the Phoenicians knew that the earth was round because they sailed. Anybody that sailed, if you read history on them, they know that the earth is round.
So, brother, you know what?
I'm sorry. And as far as the Greeks, I didn't only mention the Greeks. Also, the Carthaginians, they knew the earth was round. Of course, way later on, Columbus found out the earth was round. But again, I asked the question because the brother said the Greeks were booty bandits. So nobody that believes the flat earth is gay?
Malachi, did you see that? I just sent you a text of that. Did you get that text in the chat?
Is it a text in the chat or you emailed it?
In the chat of the Google Hangout.
Okay, hold on. See. Yep. I see that right.
Can you screenshot that?
Let me see. See if I can. Yep. Yeah, I should be able to. All right, that's pulling up right now on YouTube. Let it pull up real quick, brother. All right, pause it. Bring it out. 1 second, bro. Bing, screen share, application window. All right, pick that right there. Flat Earth and television. I'm probably not gonna be able to hear it.
I wish I could figure out how to do this. You do it so easy.
No, send it to me in the
Also elaborate.
When you have apartments to fill, strategy is mission critical. Like this fella.
They're showing you the flat earth right there.
When necessary, you should list on apartments.com. It's free, it's easy, and we have millions of renters. Watch this.
Rainy renters.
No. Sorry.
So that's them trying to show God doing. They make fun of you right there, and they show you everything in plain sight. That's an actual commercial. Apartments.com.
Let's do it again.
Also, elaborate.
When you have apartments to fill, strategy is mission critical. Find a renter like this fella. He has got pizzazz.
This is also unnecessary. You should list on apartments.com. It's free, it's easy, and we have millions of renters. Watch this.
Rainy renters.
No. Sorry. I'm a certified rainmaker. University of Port-au-Prince, 74. Change where you list your apartments. Change the world.
There it is. So again, that's just a good example of them showing the flat Earth in plain sight. There are all kinds. There are images. The Simpsons have done the same thing, where somebody hits a home run, the ball hits the dome of the Earth, all the water falls out. There are all kinds of videos that, you know. And again, I wish I had more time. And now that I see, I could have been sending these things to you. It would have been a lot easier. But
yeah, you know, we get better as the time go. You just help me out with something. You just showed me that if you send it to me in the Hangout as a text,
you can even get the audio going.
I can actually play it and everybody can hear it. But that just helped me out, actually, bro. Good luck.
Yep. There we go. Next question, anybody?
Yep. Okay. Next question is from Maurice. What's the brother's name? Maurice Warren. He asking, how far down can we dig on the flat Earth?
The furthest that they've gone down is 8 miles. 8 miles is the furthest that they've gone down. And in fact, there have been people who have gone in submarines, and that they saw this phenomenon when they went down, that basically where the water was so dense that they couldn't go down any further, and that they could literally see. I think people have even shown in some of their Facebook profiles of the separations between two oceans hitting, where the color of the water and stuff like that is totally different. The same thing is occurring even underneath the oceans, where there's apparently some kind of channels of water that's impenetrable. But the furthest that they've ever dug is 8 miles. They cannot go any further. And in fact, they've even said that some people have said that when they did dig, they could hear the sounds of voices. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay. Next question is from Ariel Haley. It's for you, Yeshaya. Why can we see the sun and moon at the same time if it is a globe? That's for you, Yeshaya.
Why can we see them at the same time if it is a globe?
Yeah, that's the question from Ariel Haley.
I mean, they could be in the sky at the same time. I mean, I don't see how that proves or disproves anything.
Okay.
I mean, it proves that they move. That's all that does.
Okay. All right. Let me find a couple more questions for y'all. Explain opposite rotation of stars in south and north poles for flat earthers. In Search of Yah asked that question. That's for you, Osrael. Explain opposite rotation of stars in south and north poles for flat earthers.
So there's no such thing as the South Pole. All right. So that is there's no such thing as the South Pole, because the fact that what they call the South Pole is actually Antarctica, and Antarctica is a ring of ice around the flat Earth. The Coriolis effect, what they talk about is the fact that the Earth is a flat circle. The stars rotate around the Earth, and so that people with slow motion censored or time-lapse cameras, when they take pictures of the Coriolis effect, are taking images of the stars within the solar system, I guess, within the firmament, turning in a circle. And then the North Star, which is right at the very center, always is the same spot, and everything else constantly rotates and orbits around it. There is the thing in terms of the North and South Pole, I guess maybe to answer that in any other kind of way is, I guess, if using this as an example, if people were over here watching the sun and moon rotate around the Earth, would look different than if they were over here. All right, it'd still be the same rotation, but it would be different based upon perspective. But that's the only answer. But one thing is without question is the North Star is always north, and there's always the same image. It's called the Coriolis, where the sun and the stars rotating above the Earth.
And what shape is that star?
Next question. Again, to answer your question, do they play basket circle or basketball, brother?
Okay, next question is from the user Black Panther. He say, where is the proof of that military force claim? That's for Oscar.
All right, let's go.
And then MK Tribe say, I am ex-military. And then she says he's right. So she's backing you up. But the brother's asking, where's the proof of your claim that it's a military? If you fly far enough north, you're gonna be met by military. So
let's hold on for a second. A lot of this stuff they're not going to. Okay, so here it is. You just do a Google search. The Arctic Treaty. This is Wikipedia. The 12 countries that have a significant interest in the Antarctica are Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Chile, France, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States.
Google scholarship. Nice.
Listen, brother. Again, some of this stuff that is when people act like this stuff is not real, let's be honest. The United States government and these governments are doing all that they can to hide this information in the first place. So they're not going to put it out there that, yes, there's a dome over the earth and all this other stuff, etc., or that there's a treaty within these countries to do this. But the fact is that without question, this information does exist. There are people who have, out of the fear of their risking their life, released some of this information that they have gone and they've been part of government operations with regards to the things that are happening with NASA. Now, here's the funny thing about Antarctica, etc. Right? NASA is always telling you that they're going to the moon, right? Well, why is NASA also the people that release information about Antarctica? Antarctica isn't in space, right? So why is NASA the one that's giving you that information? Right, people need to start asking yourselves questions about what the purpose of NASA is. The reason why NASA and the United States government and these governments are using NASA for part of the great deception that is coming on the earth very soon. All right, so NASA is basically a form of like a giant Hollywood studio. We haven't gone to the moon. We can't go to the moon. There is no space shuttle flying in space. There is no international space station. That is all messing with people's heads. All right. And they know that as long as they keep on sending people images of or saying that NASA has done this or that, people start believing it. But this is one thing I ask you people to ask yourself. And this is a simple Google search. I can have you guys do this. Anytime whenever I have these discussions with people about satellites, the first thing people will say, what about satellites? Ask yourself this. You can even do a simple Google search. Type in pictures of satellite, and every time you get a picture of a satellite, it's always as if the satellite had a selfie stick, or the satellite had another satellite taking a picture like, hey, I'm going to stand next to the Earth. Take a picture of me. And he does the duck lips, all right, and gets a picture of the Earth behind him. It's always a third-party image, and that's because of the fact they're all 100% fake. They say that we got a rover on Mars, all right? But the fact is that They say Mars is tens of millions of miles away, right? So they want you to believe that they sent a rocket to space. Now you have to factor this stuff in. If under the heliocentric model, they say that the Earth is traveling around the sun and the moon while it's hurling through space. So they want you to believe while the sun, the moon, and everything is going through the space, that they've launched a rocket that's going faster than all the things that this is going, and they've eventually been able to send a rover to Mars. And when this rover got on Mars, they, by way of remote control, took pictures and sent it back to you. That's what they want you to believe. But if you do a picture and just do a Google search of Mars rover on Mars, they'll tell you that these images are real images. In fact, I'll show this real quick, Malachi. But it's always the same thing. It's as if the Mars rover had a selfie stick and the Mars rover had a buddy taking a picture of himself and it's sending back to you. It's an absolute impossibility. We can't get a cell phone signal in the suburbs, but they want you to believe that they're controlling something by way of remote control tens of millions of miles away. That doesn't work. That's impossible.
All right, last question from Aquashins. It says, ask the sphere earth guy, talking about Yeshaya, ask Yeshaya to break down 1 Esdras 4 and 34 in the Apocrypha.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So what that war about? I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word's war, they can murder Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.
1 Esdras 4 and 34. That's for you, Ak. Last question, and then y'all got y'all closing arguments, and we're gonna get on the bottom.
Let's see. 1 Esdras 4:34.
Khan, 1 Esdras 4:34.
All right, let's see. Oh, let me use another app. Give me 1 second.
Great script.
O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course. For he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetch his course again to his own place in one day. Okay, it's kind of self-explanatory. O ye men, are women not strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven. Swift is the sun in his course, so the sun moves. For he compasseth the heavens. And there goes that word compass again, compasseth, which means circle or surround.
Circle and ball are different, right, brother? We already determined that, or at least I thought we did. Continue.
No, you said that they're different. A circle is still round. But anyway, the heavens round about.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I don't get what's the issue with that scripture.
All right, so
I don't know. He just asked me to ask you that. He was asking if you could break it down.
The breakdown of that scripture. If I'm breaking it down, hold on a second. Let me just say that again. That sounds like that the earth is circling around, as I've said, the flat earth. So that's why it says it's circled around. This brother can't figure out that there's to circumnavigate something doesn't mean circumnavigate doesn't mean this. Circumnavigate means this. Circumference, so when it says compassive, that's what it's talking about. It's not talking about that. But compass doesn't work this way, right, brother? Compass doesn't work that way. Right? You look at a compass, is a compass, you looking at a compass, is it going that way? No. Compass, you look down upon it and it goes that way.
Okay. Well, look, both of y'all brothers give y'all last little closing arguments, and we're gonna get on about here again. I want to thank y'all for coming on. For the most part, it was cordial. You know, it's a few. You know how we get as Israel, a few jokes here and there.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you brothers for taking this thing up at the last minute. And you know, I believe we actually conducted ourselves well.
It was fun.
Conscious Israelites, you understand, in this thing. We didn't act like, you know what I'm saying, niggas in the streets.
No, well, this was a lot of fun. And this is not a conversation that niggas in the streets would be having. So
right.
all the most high for that. And, and although my brother and I disagree on a couple of things, it's been a lot of fun, and he's a good brother. So
different schools of thought. In the end, we sit down talking about the scripture. We could be out shooting dice. We could be out shooting each other. You understand? But in the end,
playing drugs.
We sitting down talking about the scriptures, so you know, hey, that's progress. You did, and I hope change contact information to keep this thing going off camera.
We definitely will. And to the let me just start out and say, you know, I appreciate the opportunity of doing this, and I wish I could have done better. I would have liked to have prepared a little bit more. And I was actually going to bow out of it, but because of the fact that I committed to it, I said, hey, I'm going to just follow through, and I wanted to do the best I could. There was a lot more information I knew I could have done, and I could have actually done a lot better. But so for those people who are of the same school of thought as myself in terms of the flat earth model and it's the scriptural significance, if I've let us down, then please forgive me. But fortunately, my competitor has made things very easy for me. I think that I have presented and established fully by way of scripture that circle, that Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, made a very keen distinction between ball and circle. And so because of the fact that my brother gracefully seems to want to concede that he doesn't want to accept the fact that Isaiah has made a distinction between a ball and a circle, that in our sports world, that we don't play basket circle. It's not called a tennis circle. So, you know, Williams doesn't play with a tennis circle. She plays with a tennis ball. So there obviously has to be a difference and a distinction between the two. And I have made my argument is that the earth is a round circle that is flat, that is not movable, that there's a firmament over the earth, as the scriptures say. Sun and moon are within that. And that this is all giving glory and honor and praise to our Elohim, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We want to give him thanks and praise for his marvelous creation. And we say to hell with Esau and all of his doctrines with regards to him taking the Most High's creation and in some way twisting it. And that's what the deception that has been going on in the earth is. Unfortunately, mankind has been deceived by way of the Gentiles. And this heliocentric model is truly an attempt and an agenda for us to worship the Most High's creation and not the Most High. This is all a satanic model that we have been indoctrinated. At the end of the day, the heliocentric model, the globe model, is about the Big Bang theory of evolution. And so if you believe that we live on a ball, although again, this brother has already stated, and again, I'm not saying that this is his argument, but the ball model is based upon the heliocentric model, which says that the earth is spinning and it's as a consequence of the Big Bang, and that we're being hurled through the universe, etc., etc. The scriptures say everything exactly the opposite, that there was a creator, that he said, let there be, and it did happen, and he created order behind all of these things. That there are foundations of the earth, that the earth is fixed and is not moving, that there's a dome over the earth called the firmament, and that the sun and the moon are within this thing, and that, of course, if he stopped Nimrod from going to space, then he's certainly not going to let some Edomites go into space, which is called the heavens. All right. So we give the Most High thanks and praise for him being consistent.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to all y'all brothers, man. Shout out to all y'all. You know, we in this for the same mission, you know, but I did want to say the brother still didn't show me a scripture that said the earth flat. And I do want to point out something funny is that if y'all notice what jersey I'm wearing, if you know, Kyrie Irving recently got in trouble for saying the earth flat.
Yeah,
so that's kind of funny, you know, borderline funny. But you know, just want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Much love to all y'all brothers, man. And you know, the whole nation, period. You know, it's all love, you know.
All love, all love. We appreciate both of you brothers, man, coming on. And like I said, it was last minute, but we glad information was brought forth and the nation was edified, man. We need to have more dialogues like this. My personal feelings is it ain't salvation. It ain't got nothing to do with
salvation.
Ain't got nothing to do with the commandments of following Messiah. It's people in the comment board, they feeling. Some of them feel it is. Somebody created the one God created the flat earth, the other one, we ain't gonna get into that because believing in it or not ain't gonna get you into the kingdom.
That's right.
I want to salute you, brothers. And I said it from the jump. Some people on there like, what does it matter? Why we debate? Because it's a hot topic in Israel. That's why. You feel me? It's all on Facebook, 24/7, Instagram, all that. So let's not act like this is a topic that ain't plaguing Israel. It's a topic that we don't talk about all the time. You feel me? So I appreciate you, brothers, man. Straight up and down. Brothers reached out again. Different schools of thought. Like my Ak Asherel said, it was fun. Salute to my Ak Shia. Been seeing you on the videos for years, going back. So it's good to finally talk to you.
Likewise,
it up. No doubt, Hebrews. Hey, so until the next time, y'all brothers be safe. Yahweh, the name of his son, Yahweh.
When we gonna see you on the debate?
You say what?
All you gotta do is type in my name, brother. You see me debating for years in the street.
Yeah.
I saw a Mexican slay you, brother.
Not copy and paste the life.
I saw Wishakar get on you.
Don't copy and paste the life, brother.
I saw Wishakar get you.
Face getting locked up and a whole nine, fighting and a whole nine, brother.
You my brother, bro.
It's easy to talk behind the copy and paste the light stations.
I know that.
Hey, but hey, it's different when you out there in them trenches, boy, and guns get
I always commend the brother because at least although we come from different schools of thought, this is what I said about Maharakar. He's on the street, he's in the highways and byways, and if he's wrong about the 12, if I'm wrong about the 12, if he's right about the 12 tribes chart, then hallelujah, he's bringing people in.
We talking about the 12 tribes, brother. We talking about.
But if he's wrong, he's bringing in some more servants and handmaids, and I give him thanks and praise for doing that because we're gonna need some servants and handmaids in the kingdom. I appreciate your good work.
Hey, if the 12 tribes chart is wrong, then I'm a servant and handmaid.
Well, that's all right. Frontliners understand when you out there in the trenches, the guns get pulled.
That's right.
I'm a Natural Bridge Road. The cat came out there and said, yo, did you knock on my door? Me, because I was teaching. And I knocked on your door, pulled the hammer out. 3 niggas pulled the hammer out here on STL on us. You see what I'm saying? That's
Thank the Most High for it. He got angels. He got angels around us. So hallelujah to that.
So understand that. That's what we go through when we out there in the front line.
Hallelujah. Keep it up. Most High got you though. He said he got angels before you to keep you along the way.
That's right.
Praise to the Most High for having his angels around us to always have a hedge around us. So we give him thanks and praise. Hallelujah.
Very nice. All right, so to the next War Ready Wednesdays. Most High be with us all. Every word is war. And you don't need CNN to know it's war outside, man. Most High be with us all. Bless you all. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
You read a war, there was a warning shot. So with that war by, I'm talking pestilence and plagues, revelation unleashed. The time of Jacob's trouble, mark of the beast. Gog and Magog, there'll never be peace. Every word war, they convert the Israelites with ISIS. Reaction, solution, eradicate the righteous. Different DNA.